Mine's going to get eliminated tomorrow.
Hey there, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Black Spinner Music Podcast. Today's episode, we are doing the top 10 albums plus 5 honorable mentions of the year 1989. And 1989 was a great year in music, TV, and really everything, which went into the 90s. The 90s was just so groundbreaking in so many different ways. I was becoming a freshman that year. And that's my freshman year of high school. So with us tonight, we got a very great panel with us tonight. We have Jerry Soupy from the BS Sessions with Martin Jerry and Charles Trainer. And also he is on the Freeform Rock podcast as well. And also tonight we have with us Mark Alden Taylor, who is adjusting his camera. And moving back and forth. And Mark Alden Taylor is also from the BS Sessions with Mark, Jerry, and Charles Trainer. And
we got to shorten that name. We got to shorten that name somehow.
And also, I already asked.
Also, he's also the DJ on that metal station on Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific. And also, he is also the host of the Freeform Rock podcast as well. Catch that on Fridays on all of your podcasting devices. And also we have with us Al Horta for the Be Cool or Be Podcast Out. We've got a great channel on YouTube on there. Check it out. You will see some great footage for concerts, rare concerts, and really good stuff. He's one that can really have a steady hand. I call him the Martin Scorsese of concerts, and that's not taken lightly. How's it going, gentlemen? Y'all doing all right today?
It's called a little tripod.
Sorry.
You know, I see Martin Scorsese walking around with one of those. Who knew? So, what we're going to be doing today? What we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing 1989. And before we get started, we like to talk about pop culture that happened in 1989. This is going to be right up someone's wheelhouse today. Who won the World Series in 1989, gentlemen?
The freaking
that was the earthquake year, so the Giants and the A's.
The A's, yeah. The Oakland A's, and that was when the earthquake interrupted play. It was a horrible earthquake that did a lot of damage to both San Francisco and Oakland. It was a very scary moment.
Yes, it was.
For the people that were out and about, because it was a beautiful day.
And yeah, I had just moved to Florida like a month and a half before that happened from San Francisco.
Yeah. Well, my grandma lived in Alameda and always traveled through Oakland, so she was the first person we called, but the lines were like down.
Wow. Yep. And there was damage on the Golden Gate Bridge, big time.
Yeah, one bridge collapsed.
Yeah, the Bay Bridge. The Bay Bridge actually had most of the damage.
Oh, okay.
What about the one that collapsed and killed all those people in it, and they were digging people up for days?
Yeah, that was a horrible earthquake. And who won the Super Bowl in 1989?
Niners.
The Niners? They sure did. I knew y'all were going to be happy about that one. Who won the NBA Finals in 1989?
Was that the Pistons?
Oh, Pistons.
The Pistons won that year.
Yeah.
But they beat the Lakers.
Yep, because we were hurt badly. Badly. Yeah, no Byron Scott. Everybody was like hurt on that fucking squad.
And I was with this past weekend. I was at my mom's for the weekend. Down there in Corpus Christi, and my cousin was there, and he watches hockey, and I've never seen hockey before. So he was showing me what the rules are. There's not that many rules, but I really enjoyed a few games of hockey. But who won the Stanley Cup in 1989?
I think that was the Oilers, right?
No.
It wasn't that freaking Montreal? Montreal?
No.
I don't remember.
Hold on.
But they are from Canada.
Toronto?
No.
Well, it's either Vancouver or Winnipeg.
No.
The Maple Leafs?
Calgary.
Oh, the Flames. Okay.
Yeah, the Flames. Do they still have a team?
What's that?
Do they still have a team?
Yep.
The Flames?
Yep.
Okay. I wasn't too sure because I haven't heard about Calgary that much. But then I don't watch hockey. But I am going to start watching hockey. Coming up. I said, well, when are the playoffs over? He said in 2 months. I said in 2 months. What are you
plenty of
kidding me?
time. I mean, yeah.
He said, yeah, like in middle June they'll be over. I said, well, I got plenty of time to catch up on it then.
Well, it's just like
No.
basketball. However, I think the basketball's best out of 7 now. That's right. So yeah, they're all best out of 7. So
What won Oscar for Best Picture of 1989?
Color Purple.
No.
Oh, I was like 85 or something.
I don't know. I'm just throwing out movies. 89. Shit.
Some movie I probably didn't like.
I'll give you a hint. I've never seen it before.
Top Gun. Top Gun.
No, but it is a Tom Cruise movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Born on the 4th of July.
No.
No.
I don't know.
Rain Man
Oh, yeah.
Good movie.
Oh, yeah.
Rain
Dustin
Man.
Hoffman won.
with Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah, Tom Cruise never gets any credit, man. He should have won for The Color of Money also. Fucking all these big, he gets in these films with huge actors like fucking, whatever. And Paul Newman and the other dude.
Paul Newman. Yeah.
Yeah, that fucked him up. He needs to
And
stay away. And freaking Born on the 4th of July, Jack Nicholson.
Really, Jack Nicholson's on Born?
You're thinking of a few good
He
men.
said you can't handle the truth.
That's a
oh wait,
few
that's
good
a
men.
few good men. A few good men. Yeah, he was in that one too. So
Demi Moore was beautiful in that movie. She really was.
sorry, got
All
my
right.
jacks.
Let me see here. Hold on. What was the next? Oh yeah, what was the highest grossing movie of 1989? I
The
watched
same
this
movie.
so many times. No,
I
y'all.
don't know.
New Jack City.
No, but that is a
What
good
was
movie.
What was the question?
What was the highest grossing movie of 1989?
Was it Batman?
Batman.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
Should have
Batman
known
was the
that.
highest grossing movie.
I was just watching a Flash trailer and going, "Fuck, that looks good."
That's the year I graduated, so I don't really know too much about.
Oh,
remember
okay.
too much
Really?
about 1989.
Oh no, man! I was a freshman, and we were in line for Batman, and we had the shirts on, the caps, all that stuff. It was a good time, a really good time.
Michael Keaton, man.
Yep.
Yeah,
That
and
was
new Flash. I am Batman. Like, yeah, it gave me chills, dude, when I heard him say that again.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and Jack Nicholson was the Joker. Man, he was a good
That's
Joker.
Yeah.
Yep.
People try to put Heath Ledger up there. I said he's number 2.
What won Grammy for Best Album that year?
Some shit album.
I've got it.
Okay.
It's a
And
really
maybe
good
not shit.
album.
Phil Collins?
No,
Paul Simon.
no. I'll give you a hint. The name of the album is Nick of Time. But
What?
who recorded it? Nick of Time is the name of the album.
I like that movie. I don't know, man.
No.
Bonnie Raitt.
Yeah, I never had any Bonnie.
No, I got
I
a
don't
lot of
listen to her.
Bonnies. I'm a big Bonnie fan. She's a great guitar player. Her daddy taught her how to play.
Oh, is that an album that had that Something to Talk About song on it and all that?
It does.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like it. She sounded like Melissa Etheridge, but not from the first album. I like Melissa Etheridge first album. That shit rules.
I like Melissa Etheridge. I like more of her singles than whole albums by her.
Oh, when she started singing "Come to My Window," I was out. So
See,
that
I
was
like
too
that
pop.
song. Let me see here. What was the next question? Oh, what won for Song of the Year for a Grammy in 1989? What was
Milli-
Song of the Year?
Milli Vanilli.
No,
We Didn't Start the Fire.
no,
Another Day in Paradise.
no. The Wind Beneath My Wings by Ben.
Oh
Miller.
shit!
God.
Yeah, I danced to that.
Fly,
I had to dance to that song in
fly.
my prom. Yeah.
Oh, did you really?
Oh, God.
Jerry, you secretly loved it. Why wishing that they had Zima?
Actually, it was Bartles and James wine coolers that night. I remember.
Bartles and James.
Oh, I gave you Zima because that's today's White Claw.
That shit was disgusting, man.
My mom
I haven't
drank
drank
Zimas.
since my surgery a week ago, so I think I'm going to stop drinking. Actually.
Ah,
So,
All right, hey Jerry, that's if that's what you want to do.
I'm not like a
Yeah.
hardcore drinker. I just just don't.
but you're
need
funny
it.
on. You're like Charles. You need the alcohol to get.
Yeah,
going.
I'm sure I'll change my mind tomorrow, but we'll
Okay.
see.
But
Well, I'm not
it's
drinking
out
tomorrow. I can't drink. I haven't drank really except for one day in the last 2 weeks. So
How
I
you
fucking
feeling?
I want to drink.
How you feeling though?
Oh, I'm okay. I'm getting gonna get some injections and see a physical therapist.
Yeah.
So
No surgery?
not yet.
Are you walking better, or are you?
Yeah, I'm walking better, but it's just tiring to walk.
Yeah. Okay.
My legs are so tight.
Is it painful like it was before, or is that?
No, it's not painful. I could walk. I just lose my balance a little bit if I walk too
Okay.
much.
All
My
right.
legs get shaky.
All right.
All right, man. Stop bringing the show down.
And the last question. And the last question, guys. What was the top
drinking.
watched TV show of 1989?
BJ and the Bear.
Cosby
Come
Show.
on, really? BJ and the Bear.
Oh.
Cosby Show.
Cosby Show. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Let's get started with our top 10 of 1989. We'll go Jerry, Mark, Al, and myself. So
Just remember, you always got to get a BJ and the Bear reference in somewhere. So.
No, you don't.
Oh, come on. You don't like Sheriff Lobo either?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
Actually, I don't remember. even if I did or not.
Claude Akins, man. You know,
I know the
fucking-
guy, but I don't remember if I liked it or not.
That show was hilarious. All right, go ahead. Sorry, Danny.
You know what? Claude Akins had another 18-wheeler show from the late 70s. I saw it the other day. It was on Tubi.
He was in Bonanza a lot.
He was in BJ and the Bear, and then they spun it off to Sheriff Lobo.
No, I wasn't sure if Lobo.
Convoy? I don't know.
It has something to do with 18-wheelers.
Dukes of Hazzard?
No, really?
Hey, you always got to get a Dukes of Hazzard
Oh,
reference.
got to get Dukes of Hazzard reference somewhere. All right, let's get started. Jerry, what's your number 10? And don't say Roscoe Pico Train.
I'll say, get him, Flash. Get him, Flash.
I'll go with
more lazy dog in my life.
I go with Skid Row's self-titled album, man. What a great record that was, man. I mean, all kinds of hits on it. Youth Gone Wild, fucking I Remember You, 18 in Life, Piece of Me. What am I forgetting, Mark? Great songs off that album.
No, fucking Rattlesnake Shake, man.
Rattlesnake Shake.
You always get Rattlesnake Shake.
I mean, that was a great, real popular album in that area. It's a great record, still a great record to this day, man. Standing the test of time.
They're one of the few Rattlesnake Shake songs that I don't hear getting made fun of.
But yeah, what a great album. The second one was a lot more heavier, and I liked it better. But this one was a good one too. So
yeah, that Skid Row album, the debut album was it kind of came out of left field, pretty much.
Yeah, it did.
At that time, it really took hold of their airwaves. But their second album, Slave to the Grind, I liked better. I really did. That was a really good album.
I think everybody likes that album better. I like one. What the fuck? Always Subhuman Race. That's my favorite.
Yeah, that's a heavy
I mean, I
one,
still
man.
think live they do most of their stuff. The majority of that, not the majority of that, but most of the songs they do are off that album. I think.
Oh yeah.
Still.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I'm pretty sure they kind of have to. Mark, what's your number 10? What are you going to start off with, Mark?
My number 10 is Don Henley, End of the Innocents, man. I love that fucking album. Fucking, it's got Axl Rose on there breaking mics, recording it.
Yeah.
Fucking, it's a great album. There's so many hits off that, and the deep tracks are so amazing, which we need to review this album, spoiler alert, someday. But that's my number 10. Well, 11, right?
No, 10.
Oh, 10? All right. Well,
Yeah,
shit, I thought it was 11.
No, we're doing top 10 plus 5.
yeah, I know.
Okay.
I got 11 too, actually.
Yeah.
11 is your show. Mine is
Yeah,
10.
okay. That's fine.
So
I'm just cutting
you're
one out.
going with Don Henley, the End of the Innocents. That's
No, I'm moving that out.
Oh, you're moving that out.
Yep. Since there's
Okay, that
only
was
10.
more of an honorable mention. All right.
Yeah, now it's more of an honorable mention if I have that one. Badlands, the debut album, man. That's a fucking great album.
on.
I ain't taking Badlands out of here, man. I don't know if any of you
Right
got
on,
maybe
right on.
fucking album.
Dude,
might take it.
Winter's Call is a freaking great song. Love that song.
That
Fuck
whole
yeah.
album. Dickie
Yeah, that's
Lee's
a-
on fire on that fucking album, man.
Yeah.
That's a road trip album. That's my number 10.
Number 10. What's your number 10?
I'm going with Faith No More, the real thing. They were kind of like alternative before it was kind of alternative, you know, like they were kind of bringing that funk into like metal kind of sound into like metal thing, and I play the hell out of that tape. I had it, from out of nowhere, great opener on there, and then they had that big hit Epic with the big MTV video. Falling to Pieces is one of my favorite songs on there. Great instrumental, Woodpecker from Mars, that ends the album. It's cool. They do a cover of War Pigs on there. Yeah, it's a great album. It's my number 10. So
Yeah. Would you say that that's like a prog alternative rock album of '89? Because it gets pretty proggy in certain
It was
parts.
different. It was different for that
it
time.
was different than what was. Yeah, it was very different than
Yeah.
what was the norm of that era. You could tell in 1989 now. Like after Guns N' Roses, man, like the glam was really starting to come down now. Like it was starting to. Things were getting a bit more grittier again and a
Mhm.
little more street. But then there was this whole other movement that was coming in. You had your Faith No More. You had God damn it,
Chili Peppers.
Chili Peppers, Jane's Addiction. You had this whole other movement, Primus. You had this funk coming in a metal, kind of melting into each other, And that was really, I mean, it wasn't called alternative. Yeah, it was just kind of something different, though. It was still in the metal genre, but it was just kind of like morphing into something else, So
Yeah.
things were starting to change. You could see there was a change in the air. So
Yeah.
and that was definitely one of the albums that brought about like that change. Like Faith No More was one of those bands, So
Yeah. There were certain songs on there that went 8-9 minutes of just instrumental readiness that they would bring back.
yeah. I mean, there was the title track, The Real Thing, was like pretty long track. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. I think this was the debut of Mike Gordon on vocals too, because I think the previous two albums was what's his name? I can't remember his name, but yeah, I think this was his debut in the band, and he had been in what was the band that he was in previous?
Mr. Bungle.
Mr. Bungle.
Mr. Bungle, which he's now gonna I think tour with now too. Again, I think they're
really?
gonna yeah, they're gonna go on tour this year. So, but yeah, I mean, this was kind of like their breakout album. I remember Epic, man, getting played all the time on MTV and
On MTV,
radio,
yeah.
So, yeah, so.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
everywhere, man. And the radio, MTV, everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, and kind of like the melding, not only like funk, but like even kind of like hip hop going into like metal too, because there was like elements of that in like Faith No More too. You know what I mean? So
Right, because his vocals were pretty much kind of a hip hoppy before.
yeah,
And they
especially on Epic. Yeah.
Yeah, and they weren't even trying to be hip hop. That was just his voice and the style he's delivering for certain songs.
Yeah.
That's what's so great about Mike Patton is the way that he delivers songs. That's fantastic.
So that's my number 10. The Real Thing, Faith No More.
My number 10 is going to be Harold Smith's Pump. This is a great album. Love this one by them. We all know their story. They started off great in the 70s. They broke up. They got back together. They worked very hard on this album. Even though they did have outside writers on this one, but still, Young Lust, Love in the Elevator, Janus Got a Gun, The Other Side. And one of my favorite songs by them was Fakes. So my number 10 is going to be Aerosmith, back with the whole original members, which they're still intact, except we'll see more about Joey Kramer coming up. So that's kind of in the air right now, but man, that was a great year for them, 1989. So I'm going with Aerosmith.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, that album was huge, man.
Yeah, it really was. That was because that was a big comeback. I know people say Permanent Vacation, but I enjoyed this one more than Permanent Vacation.
I did too.
I like Permanent Vacation better, but
I think I'm a bit on a Permanent Vacation side myself.
Yeah.
But the Pump on Pump. I mean, they're almost neck and neck really for me. There's a lot of great deep tracks on Pump, like non-radio hits. There's some really good shit on there. and as well as Permanent Vacation too. So, I think I've gotten burnt out on all the Radiohead stuff
Yeah,
off
of
those
course.
albums.
Yeah.
So, but when I listen to those albums, I tend to like listen to more of the deep cuts, you know. And there's some great ones on there, and there's some rockers, man. You know, they were doing good, man. They were, you know.
Yeah. I like Pump a little bit more because it sounded like they were bringing back the old Aerosmith swagger, that old sound, a little bit more on Pump.
You could say that, yeah.
Jerry, what are you going with on number 9?
Number 9 pisses off a lot of this band's fanatics because I think it's my favorite album, but it has my favorite song on it. I'm gonna go with Rush Presto. It's my favorite album. Past is my favorite song. Love that record. Show Don't Tell. What a great freaking tune that was, man. I remember when I first heard that, man, it was like, wow. Superconductor, freaking Andy Graham from Mongo. Come on, Mark, help me out again.
Oh well, you might be picking stuff I pick, so I don't want to give up too much information.
I mean, just great songs off it.
I need something to say.
To me, now we got into a fight with this before, me and Mark. I thought it was the last great Rush album, in my opinion. I mean, I like the albums afterwards, but I don't know. This one, I think, was their last classic like Rush album. And I know people hate me for saying that, but I don't give a shit. So, but anyway, that's my number 9.
Yeah, no, they got harder. They went back to old Rush after that album, but counterparts and stuff like that.
That's the one anomaly about Rush is that it's so many different people, like different eras, like different albums. There's the majority that moving pictures, but that's like the mainstream people that, you know, if there's one album in Rush, there's only going to be one album in their collection, probably going to be moving pictures. But when you get like the hardcore, you know, that have like the whole discography and everything, you know, you get different answers from a lot of different people, pretty much everybody. You know, it's crazy, man. It's like one of those bands that's just all over the place with fans that's so different, you know. And I guess it's just a lot of people come into when they come into the band, you know. I mean, that can be said about a lot of bands, but Rush is just different because they're not built on like radio pop hits, you know. It's just they have like this hardcore following, and you know, it seems like people come in and out in like different eras, you know what I mean? But there's always that core fan base that's always there. But Press is a great album. That's the first tour I saw them on. So
yeah, I saw it too. It was a great tour. Scar.
That's the second one I saw them on.
I mean, it's just loaded with good songs.
And when they did their live album for that era, was that before or after Presto?
No. Show of Hands was early
Show
in
of
the year,
Hands.
and then Presto came out later in the year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Show of Hands came out like right in January, like right at the beginning of the year.
Wasn't that the Hold Your Fire tour though? Show Your Hands.
The Hold Your Fire, yeah.
Yeah. That was
Okay.
the Hold Your Fire tour.
I think
That's the one I saw first. I love that one.
Yeah. I think they released that live album to buy them a bit more time of rest between albums because they were coming out. Well, by that time they were doing maybe an album every 2 years, and I think they needed like a recharge after the Hold Your Fire. So I remember reading interviews on them that they kind of took that certain style with Hold Your Fire, kind of like that real kind of jazzy, almost fusiony sounding album to like the limit, and they wanted to kind of recharge their batteries, so they released the live album to buy them another like 6 months to work on ideas for like their next album. So it kind of prolonged their vacation, I guess, you know, as a contractual thing too, because that was the last album. The live album was the last album on Mercury Records, and then Presto they went to Atlantic Records. That was the first Atlantic release, so
right.
It was a whole label for them. So
yeah, it's Atlantic, and also on my Presto album, it's Atlantic, but it also has a little Anthem logo on it.
Well, Anthem is their Canadian. That's their own label.
Okay.
So that's going to be on every album, really.
Okay. I guess it just stuck out to me more than.
Yeah, Anthem is a Canadian label, and then like I guess Atlantic is worldwide. Like they, you know.
Yeah, because I was kind of surprised when I pulled out Presto and I played it last night. I was kind of surprised it said Atlantic on it.
Isn't all the new releases just Anthem?
They were on Roadrunner, I think.
Roadrunner, the last album. But I'm talking about the old catalog, like the 180 gram. Is that coming from?
It's Universal Music now. Like Universal Music brought out like all that, I guess, their catalog or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's what gets released now, because they sold their catalog. You know, they did like one lump sum thing, like a lot of bands are doing.
Yeah.
A few years ago, they cashed out, and then that's it. So they're not even really involved in these like reissues, these box sets that come out.
Yeah.
I think they just kind of look at over it and they sign off on it, and that's really it, you know. But they're not really involved in the making of them. So
Wow, you would think that they would be, because the way that they're issuing these re-releases or reissues, man, they're really doing a really good job of them and giving the fans additional stuff.
I'm a little disappointed in the Signals one though, because there's no live show in it, and to drop almost $200 on a box set that's not really offering anything
different,
you know, unreleased. Kind of like
the Moving Pictures one was great.
That was great. I had a great unreleased live show, complete show from the Moving Pictures tour. That wasn't like extra stage left or anything. It's a complete different show, which was great. That was a treat. You know, Permanent Waves had a live show from that era, which was cool. You know, everyone had a live, you know, album in it, but this one doesn't. And they're saying that they didn't multi-track any shows on this tour, but I mean, they could have, you know, cleaned up a soundboard and released that. But I don't know, man. You know, everybody was kind of up in arms with it, so it is what it is.
Number 9.
Anyway, I don't want to take up any more.
Number 9 is Queen, The Miracle, man. I can love that album. I like the weird song on there, Invisible Man, with that because I'm the invisible man. Fucking that song fucking funk, man. I fucking love that shit. And plus Breakthrough, you know, fucking great fucking guitaring on that fucking album by Brian May. Fucking love that album. I could listen to it I didn't get the new reissue. They just did a new reissue with bonus tracks. I didn't grab that and I wanted to, but like I can't buy everything. So Queen, The Miracle, number 9.
Cool. I was kind of checked out on Queen at that time. It wasn't until Innuendo when I kind of came back into them. But those mid to late 80s releases, I wasn't really like paying attention to them that much. But yeah, I have revisited that album. It's good, man. You know, there's some pretty good stuff on there.
And plus, it's a kind of magic. It's the Highlander soundtrack.
yeah. They were like a soundtrack. They were doing a lot of soundtracks, man.
Yeah. Well, they even put the Iron Eagle one on there too. Fried chicken, man. Let's get some fried chicken.
All right. Well, my number 9 is going to be the self-titled Blue Murder album.
Yeah.
I almost picked that.
Yeah. So, yeah, dude. I mean, I remember when this came out, and you know, John Sykes was like leading the band and singing. I was like, damn, he's got a great voice, man. You know, kind of a little similar to Coverdale, but you know, he had his own personality, and his guitar playing is always great. I love his playing, and I love 3-piece bands, so like this was like right up my alley, and I don't know, it was just great, man. You know, Valley of the Kings. I remember seeing that video on MTV, and I was like, damn, this fucking kicks ass, man. You know, and Carmine is on there. He signed my album when I just met him recently. I bought that vinyl, and he signed 3 things. But that was one of them that he signed. So it was cool meeting him, you know. And he didn't really talk about much of Blue Murder though, when he was doing like his Q&A thing. But that's a great album. That's one of my favorites from '89. I played that a lot when it came out. So the self-titled Blue Murder. Tony Franklin too, great bass player. He was in The Firm.
Yep.
And he's like he's a master fretless player. That's like his thing. You know?
Yeah, a lot of people don't like those 2 Firm albums. I fucking love them. I don't know what's wrong with people.
Yeah, no, I like them too, man. You know,
all the King's Horses on fucking Mean Business. My God, it's a fucking masterpiece right there.
You see, I'm not that familiar with Blue Murder and
Yeah,
Bad
check it out, man.
Blood.
When you get a chance, man. You'll
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely like it.
especially their
I mean,
debut
if you
album,
like, if you like that Whitesnake '87 album, then this is almost kind of, you know, I'm not gonna say it's the same thing, but I mean, Sykes is he's got that tone,
Hey,
he's got that tone, that guitar tone and shit. You know, it's great. You know,
Andy,
so.
yeah.
go watch the song Jelly Roll by them. I think you'll love it.
I will check it out. But
Yeah.
I was going to get to that. I wasn't really listening to that music because my number 9 is going to be the Ghetto Boys. The name of the album was Grip It on the Other Level. That's what because at that time I was listening to a lot of hip hop and a lot of rap. And that album, I remember I was a freshman, but
They're Texas, right?
huh?
Are they from Texas? No.
Yeah, they're from
They're not
Houston.
Oh, there you go. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, they're from Houston.
They
So I
must have
was
got a lot of
living-
airplanes there then in Texas when you were there.
Oh
When
well,
you,
I
mean, you
wasn't.
lived there.
Well, I didn't move to Houston until '99. I was in Corpus at the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but still, there were a lot of mixtapes that made it down there and stuff like that. That were for Rap-A-Lot Records, and this really turned my world upside down. This and another rap album I'm going to talk about here in a minute.
Now that's
But,
not the one that doesn't have My Mind's Playing Tricks on Me at all. That came after
No.
that, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. My Mind Playing Tricks on Me is 2 albums later.
Yeah, it's
But-
early '90s. Yeah.
But this has Scarface on there. Scarface makes its appearance on here.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And stuff like
Which
that,
one?
and the Gangster of Love,
Bill.
and sounds like that.
Yeah.
They were self-produced and self-written and all that. I was able to see them in concert, kind of in concert. They were on stage, and I was there, and they were waiting for Bushwick Bill to get there, and he never got there, so they never really got songs started, and I was very disappointed. And they got off stage after 20 minutes, and it's just a whole debacle. I was like, oh man, that sucks, you know. And then of course Bushwick Bill passed away, so I never got to see them together. But I did see Bushwick Bill solo, probably when I was a sophomore in high school, when he did that solo album. Remember he made that Chucky stuff? My name's Chucky, come and play. So I got to see him live at that time. But my number 9 is going to be Ghetto Boys, Grip on the Other Level. My number 9. Jerry, what's your number 8?
Mark, what happened to the Lakers, man?
They losing.
Anyway, where are we on number 8?
Yep.
Yeah.
This is a cool band that wasn't around very well. They're still around, but to me, the guy that made this band's not with them anymore. Band called Giant, the last of the Runaways, led by the great Dan Huffman, great singer, great guitar player, big time producer here in Nashville and country music. That debut was great, man. I mean, I'll see you in my dreams. I'm a believer. Innocent Days, man, just full of good, cool, radio-friendly hits, man. In my opinion, they really didn't match the success of that album after that, but still, great album from that time.
Is it the name of the album, Giant? Of the band, Giant?
The band's Giant. Last of
Last
the
of the
Runaways.
Runaways. They had another album called Time to Burn, which is really good too.
Huh.
And you probably know them. You never heard "I See You in My Dreams"?
Yeah.
That's
I've-
Giant from that album.
Okay.
But they have a lot more hard rock on that album, and like kind of
Yeah.
going a little metalish with the solos that Dan is doing.
Oh, just that opening intro solo on "I'm a Believer."
Oh
man,
God,
freaking
I'm a believer.
rules.
It's like in that solo he starts off with, like, and it slowly builds up to the chorus. Like an amazing produced album. Sounds great. We did a review of it on Freeform.
He was pretty big in Shania Twain's success in the '90s and early 2000s. Right?
Oh, really? How's that?
Play guitar. A
Okay.
lot of them produced some of the stuff with Mutt Lange. He does that a lot in country music. There, it's what
He's
he does
producing
now.
for his daughter now, right? She's country, isn't
Oh,
he?
that I didn't know, but probably.
Yeah.
No, but
Look at
Shania
Dan
was
Huff, right?
huge. I mean, she was like the biggest
Who's
star
the guy, Dan Huff?
in pop country.
What's that?
Who's the guy? Who's the guy? Dan Huff?
Dan Huff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he produced Megadeth's Risk. I remember that.
Oh,
He did
that's
do a
what
Megadeth
happened.
album? Really? Wow.
I didn't even
No,
look
well,
that he produced that.
That's why that album is so different. That's why it has that kind of sound.
It's
They
it,
going, yeah.
yeah, it has a
He's-
giant groove to it. They gave Megadeth a groove.
Really?
Megadeth never had a groove, so
Dude,
when I
man.
heard him have a groove, I didn't like it.
I didn't think he worked in
Yeah, but
in
that's
rock
what you complain
anymore. I
about.
thought
They
I
don't
thought
have
it was
a
totally country.
I know, right? But it
Yeah.
wasn't Megadeth, so
Yeah.
it was weird.
Right. Number 8, Mark.
My number 8 is Jerry already brought it up. Skid Row, the self-titled album. I remember getting that, and freaking got it on cassette. I got it out with the Youth Gone Wild song, and then it hit big on 18 in Life. But I got it there, and I was showing my friend Tim, who's my concert buddy. He just went to me to Alter Bridge before the day I couldn't walk for a second. Again, I gave it to him, and I got him into Skid Row. And I always felt it always feels cool when you get your friends and it's stuff they've never listened to. And I think that was the first time I influenced somebody with an album. So that album has a lot of good memories with me. So I say Skid Row for self-titled.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
a
good
good
album.
album, man.
Yeah.
Al, what's your number 8?
My number 8, I'm going Overkill, The Years of Decay. Yeah, I mean, at this time, I was really into like thrash and heavy stuff, and this was one of the albums I really listened to a lot that year. I remember coming out when I was a senior in high school, and I started senior year, and I remember me and my buddies, man, just driving around. I had a '79 Caddy, big yellow fucking
That's right.
Cooperville, and with a Pioneer system in it. You know, we used to jam the cassette in there, and this was one of them that we used to always listen to. You know, Elimination was like the big song from this album, but it was a heavy, man. It was kind of had like I think it was produced by Terry Date, who went on to produce Pantera and stuff. So you could kind of hear it's almost like when you listen to this album and then you listen to like Cowboys from Hell, it's almost kind of like this is kind of like a precursor to that sound almost, a little bit, But yeah, great album, man. Years of Decay, Overkill. They were like on a roll at this point. They actually got heavier. I think this was heavier than their last album, Under the Influence. So that's my number 8.
Great band, dude. Love them.
Yeah.
What review did we just do with them? Feel the Fire?
Feel the Fire.
Yeah, we recorded that with Metal Mike.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Feel the Fire is their debut, right? Debut
Yeah.
album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what year was that?
85?
Their debut?
Yeah.
85,
I think
wasn't it?
6, wasn't it?
86, I think, yeah.
I thought
Okay.
it was 85. We're in the same neighborhood.
Okay.
It says Feel the Fire is 85. No, I'm
Oh, it
sorry.
is. You're right.
I was thinking of like Taking Over, but Taking Over was the following one. Yeah.
And like I
So-
said, man, what a busy band. 20 freaking studio albums, man.
Wow.
20.
Well, I didn't know they had so many.
Yeah, they're hard. They work hard, man. They always, they're not rich like Metallica and Megadeth and all. They got to keep just doing it.
I still haven't listened to their first one yet. I mean, their newest one yet. I still need to.
I gotta get. Yeah, I haven't listened to it either. I gotta get to it. I'm behind on stuff. So
I heard them both on the same day, the Metallica and that one. I like them both.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
LA Guns.
I haven't even gotten through the whole Metallica yet. That's how busy I've been. So
I like that LA Guns one. That's a really good album.
Nice.
I got-
Because I'm not that much into them, but it's an album I can listen to over and over, and it's a really good, solid hard rock album. It's not metal, it's not thrash. It's a hard rock album, and
Yeah,
I like
they're sleaze rock. They're like Aerosmith, dude.
it's a really good album. I like that. I think it's called Black Diamonds or something like that.
Yeah.
My number 8. I'm going to continue on the hip hop trail. Ice-T's The Iceberg. Freedom of
that's
Speech.
a great one, dude.
Just Watch What You Say. It's a great album. I got this one on cassette. Still the same one I bought when I got it. If you listen to this, you will start to hear elements of Body Count coming out. There's certain songs on here that are as thrash can be, and then he puts a fine line of thrash and hip hop. Of course, it's still hip hop, but there's about 3 tracks that will lead into Body Count, which Body Count will come out in 1990 or 91. I think it's 90 is their debut album. That came out in between the Iceberg and the original, the OG original Gangster. But I've always liked that album cover, with guns in his ears and mouth. Yeah. Freedom of speech. Just watch what you say.
Yeah, that's a bad album, man. That's a great album, man. I love
the Iceberg.
Album.
That's my number 8.
I think he has Body Count on one of the songs. Is it a song that has body? Yeah. So really
there's like three, but they're not Body Count yet. But he's starting to incorporate that kind of music into his repertoire, and then start to split them.
I think Body Count was 91. I think it was 91. Cop Killer.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but that's a great album. And when I first heard it, I thought, what is this? Why are they playing heavy metal? But then as you start to listen to Ice-T's career, you're like, oh, that's just Ice-T. That's just who he is.
Dude, the last couple of Body Count albums have been pretty damn good, man. They're solid. Really good.
The last 3 have been really
heavy too, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and his vocals have been up front, and that music is, it is thrashy as hell. They've been really good albums, the last 3.
I think him and Ernie C are the only ones left from the original band. I think all the other guys died.
Yeah. The others come and go, but just as long as Ernie C is there with Ice-T, you're going to get the same Body Count,
Yeah.
And in fact, I think they do a spin on Suicidal Tendencies. What's the name of that song?
Not institutional.
No. Institutionalized.
Is it institutionalized? Okay.
Yeah. It is.
I know they did a cover of Raining Blood too on one of the last albums or whatever. Not the last album, but one before that or something like that. So.
They did a cover of Raining Blood, and there's also a track they do with Dave Mustaine on there, and what's his name from Jasta.
Oh, Jamie Jasta.
Yeah.
From Hatebreed.
Yeah, from Hatebreed, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Hatebreed. But yeah, he's really something, man. I never saw him on SVU, which a lot of my friends say, yeah, dude, he's on SVU. I couldn't watch it. I just couldn't see.
It was cool in that game. It was cool in that room. I
just couldn't, man. Just can't do that.
Jerry brought up New Jack City earlier, man. That's a great movie.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, that was a good movie.
People were getting shot in the movie theaters at that time. Remember gang fights breaking out?
This is business. This is personal.
Yeah, that was a really good movie, and that's about the time that a lot of those movies were coming out, like Boys and stuff like that.
Or Chris Rock in that movie, New Jack City. Scotty, help me! I'm gonna die.
He's so skinny, man. He's such a crackhead, man.
Yep.
Pookie, I think his name was.
Yeah.
And they would work the cocaine houses all naked to make sure they didn't steal anything. They come out without powder and shit. Yeah.
Am I my brother's keeper?
That was with Wesley Snipes and Mario Van Peebles and
Judd Nelson.
Yeah, that's right. It was Judd Nelson.
Yeah.
Number 7, Jerry.
Al mentioned this earlier, man. Blue Murder's debut, man. What a great record that was. I remember coming home from work and put on MTV and he came on. That freaking intro just drew me in, dude. Love the sound of it. And then they started kicking in with that rocking guitar, and his voice is amazing, man.
You talking about Valley of the Kings or Jelly Roll?
Valley of the Kings, excuse me. That's the first one I saw. I think that was the first single.
Such a Zeppelin like Zeppelin like almost like an epic Zeppelin track,
And they're in the title track, Blue Murder. What a great song that is too, man. I just John Sykes is not mentioned as far as one of the greater guitarists, but he's another one that deserves some credit for his guitar work. Like you said, a great band with him, Carmen Appice, Tony Franklin, man.
Yeah,
fucking great rocking band.
Do you think maybe he's not mentioned along with the others because he's been in so many different projects and different bands?
Who hasn't though? From people in that generation.
I mean, he was only before Whitesnake. He was in. Well, he was in Thin Lizzy on the one album, and then he was in Tigers of Pantang for one album. So it wasn't really until like Lizzy that he kind of got known. Like, nobody really knew Tigers of Pantang, at
Right.
least here in America. But
Well, not at that time. They did later on.
it was. I mean, really, it was really Whitesnake that he came on people's radars here in America. You know.
Yeah.
Because the Thin Lizzy, I mean, Thin Lizzy, that album, Thunder and Lightning, that he's on, it wasn't big here in America or anything. So that's a great album, though. And his playing is ferocious on there. He's one of those guys that just kind of retired from the music business, man. He's just out. You know, that's it. You know,
He
it
was
sucks,
supposed to be
dude.
making an album.
He did. He has a whole album in the can that Eddie Trunk said, and he doesn't want to release it. He doesn't know.
He released one song, remember?
I think he released 2 songs actually.
2 songs. Yeah, maybe he didn't get good response from him.
You know, that sucks, man.
And was it just released under his name?
Yeah.
No band name, just on sites?
I think
This John Sykes.
I remember like it was I think it was like 2021, like on New Year's, like the whole pandemic was going on, and on New Year's Day, and I think he said his son actually released it for him, and he released it on YouTube. I can't remember the name of the song now, but it was actually a good song. It was pretty rocking. And then I think like later in the year, I think another one popped out too. So it was like 2 songs, but supposedly he has a whole album but it just doesn't. Doesn't know what to do. You know, it's like the whole music. There's no label to release it or something. I mean, you can release it now on your own. You know, nowadays. So I don't know. I think he's just jaded by the whole business or some shit. You know, so. It's a shame, man, because he's talented, you know. He had the whole package, man. He had a great voice, a killer guitar player, good looks, you know, and kind of just that was it. I got to see him live once. I remember me and you on the Thin Lizzy show we did, Andy. I saw the Thin Lizzy fronted version with John Sykes live in the mid 2000s in New York, and I thought it was great. Him, you know. Singing and you know, and him and Scott Gorham were the tandem, you know, guitar team and I thought it was great. He sang the songs great. He has a great voice, and I thought that was a great version of Thin Lizzy, and I really wish kind of that lasted, you know, but it didn't, you know. So, but I'm glad I got to see him live once at least.
Well, that's also I never got to see him or Whitesnake for that matter. I was kind of
And the
hoping I was
drummer-
going to see Whitesnake the last couple of years, but you know they
And the drummer in that band too, that version of Thin Lizzy was Michael Lee, who played with Page and Plant. He was Page and Plant's drummer. And he died a few years ago, but he was the drummer in that version of Thin Lizzy. So it was good, man. It was a killer version.
Oh wow,
So
sounds cool. What's your number 8? No, 7.
oh me, I'm going with I think people would expect this to be higher on my list, being I'm a huge Rush fan, but I'm going to go with Presto as my number 7. I loved it when it came out. Oh, before it came out, I remember hearing Show Don't Tell, like a premiere version of that, and I was like, wow, like Alex is he's back to rocking a bit more now, you know, because you know by that time, like Hold Your Fire, I liked the album, but I was getting a little disappointed. It was a little too. It wasn't heavy enough for me. I wanted Rush to have some balls to them. As I'm older now, I appreciate that album more. But then when I heard Show Don't Tell, I was like, yeah, this is cool. And I got the album, and the album was good, but it wasn't the harder edge that I wanted them. They weren't quite there yet. But it's still one of my most played albums of that year. I played the shit out of it. I went to go see them on that tour twice, actually. And it was great, man. I finally got to see them live. I was supposed to go to Hold Your Fire tour. I remember asking my brother for tickets for that. He didn't end up getting them, but so by that time, Presto, I was driving already. So I was like, shit, I'm gonna buy tickets. Me and my friends, I'll drive. You know, we'll go and shit. So yeah, that was the first tour I saw live. It was great. You know, I remember the inflatable rabbits, and
Yeah.
it was cool, man. It was such a great stage show. You know, so
Yeah, that was a pretty cool album cover too, where the rabbits.
Yeah, I love
the hat.
Yeah, I love
That's
the
cool.
rabbits. I love and the Past is the Past is one of my favorite Rush songs.
Yeah.
I love that song. It's probably my favorite on that album. Available Light, the last track on the album is awesome as well. One of Geddy's best vocal performances, in my opinion. And Shoto Hotel, great track. The song Presto, the title track, is great. That was cool that they kind of brought that back in like one of these later tours. It had never been played. It was never played on the Presto tour, but they played it on. I don't remember which tour it was. It was one of these later tours, probably Snakes and Hours or something like that. So they brought that back, which was cool, But yeah, man, great album. But I mean, it's not great enough to be my number one though of that year. So, but that's my number 7.
7. Yeah, I was expecting that one to be a little higher for you. Yeah. Which is going to be something on my end as well later on. But my number 7 is going to be Journeyman by Eric Clapton. It was a great late 80s album. This is when he was getting a little bit more pop rock slick. The 70s albums were a little hit or miss for me. But after a lot of misses in the early 80s, he really did come out with this album, Pretending, Anything for Your Love, Running on Faith. All those could have been heard on the radio easily.
Pretending. I remember hearing Pretending a lot on the radio. That was a pretty good hit for him.
Yeah. And also No Alibis was also on this album too. That was a big hit for him too. A good song on here is Old Love, and also he ends this with a blues song that's is a traditional blues song called Before You Accuse Me, which he also did Unplugged. A couple of these songs could be found on the Eric Clapton Unplugged, which would come out a couple years later. But this was a big comeback album for him. He also came out with the big album called Crossroads.
Oh, the box set.
Box set.
Yeah, it was a box set. And
that's one of the early box sets I ever bought. That's like one of the first box sets I ever bought. I think that and the Zeppelin one were like the first ones I ever got.
Mine was the Zeppelin one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Zeppelin, then it was the Journey one. Journey had one I got.
Oh, Time 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had that one too. Yeah.
I got that one.
But yeah, this is the Crossroads with it had that gray box. It was a really good, a really big success for him. But yeah, that's my number 7 is going to be Eric Clapton's Journeyman.
Didn't he have 2 comebacks in the 80s? Because I think, Behind the Sun was a big album with Forever Man on it.
Yeah, it was, but I just like this one more. I didn't like Behind the Sun that much.
Oh, I like his Phil Collins is on drums.
Yeah, and also Phil Collins produced it as well.
Yep.
Was that the album before this one?
I think so. No, it wasn't.
No, the album before this one was called August.
Oh, didn't that have It's in the Way That You Use It on there? That was off the Color of Money soundtrack.
That was a big hit too, man.
That was a huge hit. That was all over MTV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one really well.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just guessing that song was around that time.
Nice.
And he also did beer commercials with the sped up version of After Midnight with the Miller.
Yeah, and in fact, it does have It's in the Way That You Use It.
Yeah.
Featured in the movie The Color of Money.
Yeah. That's a good album too.
Yeah, August. Yeah, it was named after his son, the one that died from falling off the.
Yeah, that was sad.
Yeah, this was named after him before when he was born. It was named after him, August, and then before August was Behind the Sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, before.
That's when I started getting back into it because people say, you don't like 70s Compton? No, I like the freaking 3 albums he released in the 80s way better than anything in the 70s. So
I do prefer his 80s stuff, even his early 80s, like Money and Cigarettes.
Yeah.
And Blacklist were really good albums too.
Yeah, anything from out there, man. I'm like
oh, and that Slow Hand's a freaking classic, dude. I
okay.
don't know what anybody says, man.
Yeah, it's a really good album, but I want to hear his guitar playing, and his guitar playing was okay, but wasn't what I wanted it to be. And I think that's why I was disappointed in his 70s output, was because he took a step back of his guitar soloing.
The best shit he ever did was with Cream and Blind Faith.
Yeah.
When he's
no doubt about that.
when he's in a band, anything he does in a band is way better than anything he does. There's another band, Derek and the Dominoes.
Derek Hall, man.
Yeah.
That album, Layla and Other Sort of
Yeah.
Love Songs, man, from beginning to end. It's just a killer album, man.
Dude, he should have got a group again because all his groups are fucking like superstars.
Except for the one he joined Roger Waters in for a while. That was a fucking nightmare, dude.
I don't even know about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Well, he
Eric
played-
Clapton was on the pros and cons of hitchhiking.
Yeah, he played on a tour, right? He was
Yeah, they
toured
did a
with
tour together, yeah.
him? Okay.
That's like
That's-
oil and water, man, right there, dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Number 6, Jerry.
I'm marking messing this since Don Henley's The End of the Innocence, man. I love that record, dude. I mean, a lot of hits.
I thought we were on
it,
number
lots-
7.
I just finished number 7.
Oh,
Yeah, this is number 7.
okay.
Full of like, Axl Rose, freaking Bruce Hornsby. Shit, it was Tom Petty's drummer. Is that Stan Lynch?
Yeah.
Stan
Yes,
Lynch
it
on the
is.
drums. And that boy band he had on doing that New York Minute song, that was pretty cool. I mean,
Take 6.
yeah. I mean, End of the Innocence, Harder Than Matter, Last Worthless Evening, I Will Not Go Quietly. I mean, just full of cool tunes, man. I loved it.
Yeah.
And I was really disappointed because I saw him a few years ago and he did like nothing but new stuff except for 2 songs. And I was really pissed about that, damn it.
I would be too, because the albums after this one suck.
Yeah,
Really
I agree.
did. Yep.
But that's my number, what is that, 7?
No, I thought that was number
I was on 7. So that's because I never said my 7.
You
The
never
last
did?
one I said was number 6, Skid Row.
What? No, man.
I
My
said
number
4
7
already. I said 4.
My
on
number
song
7
already.
Yeah, I said 4
What?
already.
Okay.
I don't know. It's weird.
All right. So Jerry, that was your number 7 or number 6?
Number 6.
Number
Maybe I
6.
went
Okay,
ahead.
my bad then.
Did I go
All right,
ahead?
so-
No, it's 7. I want 7.
No, it's 6.
It should be 6.
I cut one off my list, so I had 10. I didn't number them wrong. 1, 2,
I didn't number mine. That's what sucks. I'm having trouble.
All right,
with
listen.
7, 8,
listen.
9.
My number
Yeah.
10, my number 10 was Faith No More, 9 was Blue Murder, 8 was Overkill, 7 was Rush. That was
Yeah.
my last one was 7. Andy, you did your 7. Now Jerry
Yeah.
does his 6.
Yeah,
I just did my 6, right?
right.
No, but I only
Yeah.
did. Mine was 10 Badlands, 9 Queen to Miracle, 8 Skid Row, and 7. I didn't do 7. I never said that.
You
name.
might have been skipped then. We'll do 2 in a row then.
I think I
Yeah,
might have been
yeah,
skipped.
of course. Then do 7 and 6.
All right. Well, because I was going shit. I didn't count wrong. The Beastie Boys, Paul's Boutique.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm crossing them off as I'm going.
Yeah, I
that's, a
am
fucking,
too.
that's a fucking great album. It didn't get received
love
well
that.
back then, but everybody loved it. Even though all the fucking whites, all colors love this fucking album. It's like a fucking classic now, but back then, it's like Rush's Grace Under Pressure. It got
It's a
better,
flop.
as it got older. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great album. No, I loved it.
Yeah, it was. And that was after License to Ill, right?
Yeah, they licensed to Ill. They wanted to be them. They said that was a lot of record company and Rick Rubin.
Right.
Yeah, he wanted to make them run DMC. Yeah,
That's why they left them.
yeah.
That's why they left. That's why they left Def Jam.
Because Paul's Boutique was a huge turnaround, a huge
Oh,
departure.
it's complete 180, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, that's why they
That's
should have.
probably- That's probably why it flopped, because everybody was expecting License to Ill too, and they did a complete 180 and completely reinvented themselves.
Dude,
and
I thought the
guess
songs.
people weren't ready for it. But I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you
Okay.
off, Mark. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. I'm saying the songs on that one have more of a groove, dude. There's more instrumentation. There's guitars. They put on everything, dude. It's like they were ahead of their time doing that shit. Aerosmith did it with Run DMC, but this is different because they blended it without using anybody else's songs to make it fucking perfect album, man. Shadrack's a great fucking jam on there, fucking what's that song? Shit, where they use that fucking sweet fucking she thinks she's passionate one. They go, dun, dun, hey ladies, fucking great song.
Yeah.
Great samples in that fucking album.
Yeah,
Love it.
there is.
All right, so if that's your number 7, then you have to do a number 6 then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then my number 6 is the Colt Sonic Temple.
Yeah.
And fucking that was like a 180 from Electric too. It's like a little harder, a little crunchier. Electric was freaking more like old school fucking Cream, fucking rock and roll. This one, I think they got into their own sound because Love, they were experimenting, and then fucking Electric was a freaking big turnaround from Love too. They kept progressing, you know. Fucking, I love this fucking album. Edie Chow, baby, fucking Sun King, fucking New York City. New York City fucking rules. The fucking rip. Billy Duffy, so underrated. That's my number 6. The Colt Sonic Temple.
He really is underrated. He's he's right behind Ian as being the most important part of that band. I mean, they need Duffy in there as well. You know, I think that they always have different players. It's just that those two are the mainstays. Is that correct, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't Matt Sorum their original drummer?
I think he was on one album, dude.
Oh, just one.
In the 90s.
Okay.
Or 80 died or something, or 80 something. I think it was Beyond Good and Evil. He was on that album. Yeah, I could be wrong, but he was on one album.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's my number 6. Yeah.
Al, what's your number 6?
Oh yeah, my number 6 is I'm going with Voivod and Nothing Face. The cover of Astronomy Domine, the Pink Floyd cover, saw that on MTV, and I already knew about this band because I had a couple of friends who were into them, like an album or two before this one, and at the time, like they let me borrow those albums, which was like Dimension Hate Drugs, and which came out before this one, and Killing Technology, but it just kind of went over my head at that time. They were just a little too out there for me. But it was this one that, like, when I saw the Pink Floyd on MTV, the Pink Floyd cover, I was like, damn, you know, and it got more progressive. This was really kind of like when it really started going in a more progressive metal direction. And by this time, I was into like Queensryche and you know, Iron Maiden, which I'd gotten into progressive direction. So this was kind of like up my alley. You know, it was still different though. It was weird, but it was cool, and I thought it was awesome. And that cover, I love the cover even more than the original, to be honest with you. And I love Syd Barrett over Pink Floyd, but this one was great. Yeah. But this one, yeah, they were prog metal, man, all the way Canada, and it was just like kind of a little left of center, but it was cool. I had a couple of friends, yeah, like I said, that they were into them, and I finally got into them with this album, Nothing Face. So, and then I kind of stayed with them since then, you know. And the first two albums are really, really like they're really out there. I mean, it's kind of like I wouldn't throw anybody in the fire like getting into this band by giving them their first two albums. I'd kind of like ease them into it maybe with this album and then work your way backwards. But the first two was like real thrash. They started out more as a thrash band, but they were like real quirky too. They added like these quirky like elements to it, you know. So, but that's my number 6. Yeah, it's Voivod, Nothing Face.
Yeah, I'm just looking them up because I've heard their name, but I was never really that familiar with their albums.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I can check. It said Nothing Face. Is that the album of '89? Nothing Face?
Nothing Face, yes.
Okay. I'll check it out. Thanks. My number 6, I thought that this would be a little bit higher because he is one of my favorite artists. But he's going to be number 6 this year in 1989. Neil Young, Freedom.
Oh, I really thought that was going to be your number 1.
Nah.
I have a feeling I know what his number 1's going to be, but I'm not going to say it.
Neil Young, Freedom is my number 6.
I would have thought that would have been a bit higher too on your list.
Yeah, I thought so too. But then when I was going through the others, I really did like other albums better than this one. It does bookend with "Rockin' the Free World." It starts off with an acoustic version and it ends with a rocket version. And in between, sandwich in between, are some really good songs. El Dorado, he does a really good cover of what's on here? He does a really good cover of on Broadway, great song, "Too Far Gone," which was later on when he started to release his earlier work. We found out that "Too Far Gone" was really done in the mid '70s, but wasn't released until '89 on a proper album. And it's got some really good acoustic work on here as well. But that's going to be my number 6. Neil Young, Freedom.
Nice.
Jerry,
Sorry.
one? Oh no, that's right.
He's squirrel.
Number 7 is Tom Petty's "Full Moon Fever." Man, what a great record that was.
All right, we're at number 5 though.
Number 5 now.
Number 5, yeah. But yeah, what a great album that was. I mean, the greatest song on that album is not one of the hits. It's "Love Is a Long Road." That is such a great song off that album. Everybody knows the hits off that album was a huge hit for him.
Oh yeah.
Don't know what else to say about it. It was a great freaking record. I guess it was like basically produced by ELO's guys or Jeff Lynne.
Co-produced, I think.
Co-produced and
with
George Harrison had something to do with that. I don't know. A lot
no, he co-produced it with Mike Campbell and Tom Petty.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Mike Campbell was always producing
on it. But yeah, what a great record that was.
Yeah, but I can see where you can say George Harrison, even though he didn't produce or co-produce, but that was about the time that the Traveling Wilburys were, and Jeff Lynne and all that. And you can hear that sound in that album, which is a really good album.
Yeah.
I don't think I put it on my list though.
Oh, wow. Rude.
Mark,
What?
what's your number 5?
I'm still flabbergasted you didn't put it on your list, but spoiler, I'm just playing with you, dude. My number 5, probably gonna get a lot of shit for this, but I love Dr. Feelgood. I don't like Time for Change. Only bad song on the album, but the song the album rules. I like it. I like fucking party, fucking poisonous type shit, and that's what this fucking is, except for the title track. Fucking catchy lyrics with same old situation. Maybe fucking Nikki stole this from another homeless bum, like he did with Shout. But I like this album, man.
But you like it.
But more of a glam metal homeless bum at that time. That's what the album was. That was their glam, even though they took off the glam like they did for Girls, Girls, Girls and kept it going. But the songs were more glammy than their look. Yeah. So I love Dr. Feelgood, though.
I liked "Don't Go Away, Man."
I was very disappointed in that album, man.
I love it.
That's a great song. But I did not like "Without You." Oh my god!
I like that song.
God,
I don't like "Time for Change." Time for Change. That's the worst song ever.
It's like a.
I thought they couldn't do worse than "Girls, Girls, Girls," but they managed to.
Oh, I like that album. I'm with Bushy on that one. Team Bushy.
Love Theater of Pain. Love.
I do too.
So do I.
Yeah. What's your number 5?
I'm going with the Cult, Sonic Temple.
Yeah.
So to me, like Mark was saying, they did a complete 180. To me, this was like kind of they took Electric and they took Love and they kind of melded it a bit together and came up with this album. Whereas like Love was like them more of like a gothic kind of sound, and then Electric, man, he completely turned into like Rick Rubin produced that album, right? And they turned them kind of like more of to AC/DC on that album. And in this one, I think they kind of just took those two albums and kind of smashed them together and added a couple of new elements. And I think it's the best of both worlds of those two albums on this one. And then this was, I love this album, man. I played it top to bottom so many times. One of the early CDs I ever got, when I first joined like Columbia House, and I got this CD along with a couple of others or whatever, and I played the shit. I still have that original CD somewhere in the box, but yeah, man, great album, man. I love this album, and the Cult. I mean, they're one of those bands that I think should be even fucking higher now, man. Yeah. I mean, they've been releasing great stuff, and it just kind of goes like kind of unnoticed a little bit. And to me, it's not fair, But I
Yeah.
think they're a classic band that should be bigger. You know what I mean?
Oh
So,
yeah. I think
but this
they
time,
got.
yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead.
I think the cult might have gotten lost in that alternative rock and hard rock. The press didn't know where to put them, because they were just a good rock band. They,
But I think they could have fit.
somewhere.
But to me, they fit right into that like era. Like when the alternative era came in,
Yeah.
I think they sat well along that stuff. And they didn't get completely buried. Yeah, that's beautiful, man. Great. I got to get that on vinyl. I don't have it on vinyl. Actually.
Yeah, this has bonus tracks on here, dude. It has The River, Bleeding Heart Graffiti, Messing Up the Blues, Firewoman, NSYNC Rock Mix, and Edie Chow Acoustic.
Well,
Really cool.
I know there's a big cult box, Sonic Temple box set too that came out.
Oh, I'd love to have that, but it sucks. I want all these songs digital. They didn't give me a digital copy.
Okay. But I remember, like, around this time, Firewoman was all over MTV, dude. I was constantly getting played, But Sun King, man, I love that opener. That's just a great. They always had great openers on their albums, man. Like in my opinion, like the first song, the opening is always great. Edie Chow, baby, man, that's a great ballad, man, with strings and arrangements on there, and New York City, cool soul, Sweet Soul Sister. I always loved that one. I mean, it's just top to bottom, man. It's a great album. So, and they
There's
were
so
like
many styles.
So many styles, man. I mean, that's what made them great, in my opinion. And maybe that's what kind of maybe hurt them a little bit too. Maybe because they were like too many things. I don't know. That sometimes that could hurt a band too.
The last two albums are more in the vein of Love, the more emo-ish, like gothic, but they're really good. Yeah, but it's really good, man. It's just like they're just building up so much ambience back in their shit again. I love it.
Yeah, their last album, you had played some stuff on your radio show. It was really good.
Yeah.
I came into the cult on Electric. That's the first album like I came in on them on, and I loved that album because I was AC/DC. I mean, it had like this just a hard rock and and then this came out, and then I remember when I went back and I discovered Love, and I was like, wow, this is really different, man. It was like them. It was very different. It seemed like Love and then Electric, and then they just kept changing lanes, man. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. They did.
But that was cool, man. They kept evolving. So, But that's my number, 5?
My number 5 has already been mentioned earlier, but Face It No More is my number 5. It's a great album, man. From a beginning to end, there's so many changes on this album. The guitar playing is just fantastic, and it's still, no matter how many times you hear this album, it's going to be just like another album I'm going to talk about later on. There's so many changes. It just takes you on a wild ride, man. It's a good album. There's no more. I'm not going to talk about it because Al already touched on a lot of points on it. Jerry, the number 4.
Cult Sonic Temple, man. What a great album that was, man. Shit. I mean, at least in South Florida, their hits on that album were all over the radio. And great. I mean, Ian Astbury, what a singer he is, man. He's the only one that can pull off the Doors, in my opinion. He did a pretty good job.
Yeah, he did.
Scott Stapp did a good job too.
He
did. Admit it.
But yeah, I mean, what a freaking, just a great record, man. Talking about so we'll move on.
He was on, what you're talking about, like when they did that VH1 thing or something where it's like, it was like different singers on different songs. Like,
yeah, they had the Doors.
They actually did a tour though, didn't they?
Yeah, they did it. Yeah, they toured on that.
Yeah.
There's videos up on YouTube. I put up the one with Ian Astbury playing with him. Yeah, they had Scott Stapp. They had Ian Astbury. They had a bunch of different singers coming out to do different Doors songs.
I remember they did that one special where it had different guys come up. Like, during
that was the tour.
And it was the three of them, Denzel and stuff and Phil.
But I thought that they did a tour just with Ian Astbury.
I thought they did too.
I think Eddie Vedder came up and
Yeah.
Scott Weiland, all
Eddie
Oh.
Vedder's good too.
Yeah.
No,
didn't know
but
they
I
did a
think
tour
Perry
like
and I
that,
are
though.
right. I think they toured with just Ian Ashbury another year.
Yeah.
Was that
Yeah,
on the
I didn't-
Colt
Well,
self-titled
regardless,
one?
man, the guy fucking pulled it off perfectly, man. He did a great job. I mean, filling in Jim. Nobody can fill in Jim's shoes, but
Oh, of course
they did
not. Yeah.
try. Good effort.
Well, and then Densmore sued them then because of the name, right?
Well, yeah, because they had Stuart Copeland playing drums. Yeah.
Oh, really?
He wasn't a part of it. Densmore went it too.
Really, I thought all three of them were. Weren't
Well,
they
maybe
supposed
they
to be?
did in
No.
the beginning, and then they went off
Oh,
without him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then Stuart Copeland became their drummer for a while.
Oh, wow.
But I think it's
Okay.
because Densmore didn't want to tour as the Doors. I think it was he just thought it was like they were just doing that one special, and then that was it. It was kind
Gotcha.
of like a thing, and then they wanted to tour on it. And I think Densmore was like, no, it's not with Jim. Jim's not here, so they can't be the Doors.
Yeah.
So I think he dropped off of that, and then that's when they got Stuart Copeland, and then I think Densmore, because they were going as the Doors of the 21st Century or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so or I think they were just going as the Doors, and then they had to change it to Doors of the 21st Century, and then they had to change it again. I think to Riders on the Storm. I think after that.
It's kind of like
No.
all these bands had to change their name just to keep part of the name.
The new cars.
The new cars are horrible. I hate Todd Rundgren. Don't remind me of that abortion of an album. Fuck
You
Todd
don't like
Rundgren.
Todd Rundgren at all?
No, he's a
Oh,
fucking
I like
stuck-up douche. Fuck that guy.
Probably stuck up because he's very talented.
Yeah, whatever.
I mean, a dude can play anything. And
His voice
master
is
it.
horrible to me.
It was a big part of that Bat Out of Hell album too, man.
Oh,
Huge
well,
yeah,
he didn't
he-
sing on it.
Oh, yeah, he produced it.
Pretty-
Yeah. Yeah, it was a big
He's a
part.
better producer.
Yeah, I got a lot of this stuff here with him and Nas, which was his band in the late 60s. I haven't gotten any Utopia stuff, but I want to. Where are we?
I'm on number 4.
Number 4.
It's already been brought up. Aerosmith Pump. Fucking love that record. I played the shit out of it. I got bored because a girl was in my car and she always wanted to hear what it takes, what it takes, what it takes, what it takes. So I broke the CD. Same thing with the Hall & Oates CD. I love Hall & Oates, but I can't hear the same shit over and over and over. Stop! I broke Pump, and then I didn't hang out with her anymore. I bought it again. And I never heard that song for years. I think I skip or stop on that song. I think it's like that. I want to hear fucking.
It's the last track.
Yeah, I stop it on. I always go, boop, bye. I like fucking Loving an Elevator, fucking Voodoo Medicine Man's my favorite song off that album. That song is like 70s full bombastic Aerosmith on Medicine Man. Fuck, that album rules. So that's all I'm going to talk about it. But I always save a song you guys don't bring up. So there you go.
Oh,
Song off Sonic Temple nobody brought up. Sweet Soul Sister. What a great fucking
Yeah,
song.
somebody said that.
Oh, did they?
Yep.
I did
He
said
that
it.
one up. Yeah, great.
I think you were looking
All
through
right.
your records at that time.
Not paying attention to us, but that's
No.
right.
I needed to find something real quick. You reminded me of something. I had to find something that I'm going to give to a friend. So I had to remember real quick and get it out.
Something
Anyway,
there.
sorry, Al, man. Go ahead, man.
No, man, we're just playing with you. Number 4, Al.
I'm going with Paul's Boutique by the Beastie Boys. So the story with this one here is, okay, so when it first came out, even I didn't get it at first. I remember getting it. I got it on CD, and I dubbed it to tape so I could play it in my car. And I remember first hearing it, but I remember them playing "Hey Ladies" on MTV. I remember seeing that first, and that was a catchy song. I'm like, oh, yeah. I went out and bought the CD, and I admit to listening to it. And I'm like, dude, I don't get this. I'm not getting it. It was just over my head. I shelved it for probably about 6 months. I remember one night being home. It was real late at night. I was probably like stoned because I used to smoke back then, and
Well, thanks for
the
reminding
song,
me.
Shadrach came around. Shadrach came on MTV, and Shadrach is like one of those videos. It's kind of like them, but they're like painted cartoon. Like it's like this whole and almost animation, like kind of thing. And it was
MCA
just
did that.
Really, like, yeah. When you're really like, under the influence, it was like, whoa, this is pretty badass, And I got the CD back on. I started listening, and that's when it like clicked with me. Looking down the barrel of a gun, I mean, just the whole. It's almost like a concept album. The way the songs just kind of flow into each other and everything, and it's so rich in samples. I mean, it was produced by the Dust Brothers, and it took sampling to a whole new level. Like it was just so layered with samples. It's one of those albums that you can still put on today, and you can listen to it 1,000 times. You can put it on, and you'll catch something new. Something that you may have missed or something like that.
Who produced it out?
To me, this is my opinion. People disagree with me or whatever, but I consider this like the Sgt. Pepper of like hip hop. To me, it brought hip hop to a whole other level. People weren't ready for this yet. It was a flop, But as time went on, it's become this cult classic. It's considered one of the greatest hip hop albums of all time now. And nowadays with sampling and the way you have to clear samples, you can never make an album like this ever again. This album will probably take a couple million. There you go. This album will probably cost a couple million to make nowadays with all the samples in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you go online, there's a whole website even dedicated to every single little sample that's on this album, man. And there's a shitload of them. Yeah, I love that album, man.
It's folds out.
Like
this is
in the middle of a block.
Ever.
It's like a 300. Yeah, it's a 360-degree like picture of a block in New York City.
Fucking badass.
It's really cool.
Oh, really?
MCA did that again, man.
Yeah.
That guy was so talented.
Cool.
Yeah. So I mean, I consider this like a Sgt. Pepper like hip hop. That's to me what this album is like. It's just so ahead of its time that people just weren't ready for it, and now it's caught up.
Yeah.
But now you can never make another album. You can never make another album like this ever again. You can't.
Yeah.
So that's my number 4.
That show they did on their history, that live show they did, saw it on Apple TV, was really good and interesting.
I actually went to one of those live shows at the King Theater in New York City, in Brooklyn.
That's awesome.
And they were taping it. They were doing 3 nights then, and they were taping all 3 nights. But they made that special out of it, those 3 nights. So I was at one of those nights.
Nice.
That's awesome.
It was really cool.
Yeah, I really do need to hear that album more because I've only heard it a couple of times, and I think, like you said, it just went over my head. But I know because I like Check Your Head, and I love the one after Check Your Head.
Ill Communication? Ill
Yes.
Communication. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Check Your Head was their comeback.
Check Your Head, yeah.
But Ill Communication, I like the
I love
the jump of like punk and hard rock and rap and it's just so good. So I got to give Paul's Boutique a chance.
Yeah, they were a punk band first.
Yeah.
Yep.
My number 4 has already been talked about, but I'm going to bring it up. Don Henley's End of the Innocents is my number 4. Love this album. It's fantastic. I've got it on album. I got it on CD and cassette and vinyl. I don't know why I need all 3. I just do. But
You're the collector.
yeah, so I can listen to it super loud all at once. But the End of the Innocents, great writing. Great writing album. And I was hearing it this morning on the way to work that this was written and produced in '89, and it's still so relevant today. Still, every single word is still so relevant. That's when something is so classic, when you can hear it and it doesn't sound dated. And Bruce Hornsby was the guy to go to at the time. He plays great piano on a couple of these tracks. But Don Henley, The End of the Innocents, really good album.
Have you ever heard his greatest hits album where he has 2 new songs on there? It has a song called Garden of Allah.
Actual Mile.
Yeah, that song Garden of Allah is my favorite all-time Don Henley solo song. It's fucking it's mean guitars and the fucking guy, the devil talking to him in the song. Fucking cool. I love it.
Weird track. It's something that you don't expect from him.
And Stan Lynch played drums on that song and produced
really?
it. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh well. Interesting note on that. Boys of Summer, which was on the previous album, was written by Mike Campbell,
Mhm.
and he wanted Tom Petty to sing it. And Tom Petty just didn't like it. He told Mike, "Well, it's a good song, but it's not a Tom Petty song." So he gave it to Henley to record Boys of
Nice.
Summer.
Now, that's a great song. That used to be my number one, but fucking that Garden of Allah just has that hoppy beat with that fucking crunchy riffs. I love it.
No,
I gotta go. Dirty Laundry, man. That song is still relevant
that's
today.
great-
Even
that's so
more
good.
relevant today.
Oh yeah, you got that
So
right.
true about the
Big time.
fucking media, dude.
So
fucking
true.
true.
Dirty Laundry, because they will tell you the new news with a gleam in the eye.
Yep.
Number 3, Jerry.
Al mentioned it. Nothing Faced by Voivod, man. What a great record. I didn't realize until Al said it, man. Progressive. They did turn progressive on that album a little bit. It's different sound than their previous ones. I mean, just great songs. Man. Sub Effect, Into My Hypercube, and that freaking cover of Astronomy Domine. I don't know how to say it. Domini. People say it different ways. What a great freaking cover. And I'm usually critical on people doing Floyd covers.
Yeah.
But man, they did a pretty wild, raucous version of that. Great cover. But yeah, that's my number 3, man. Voivod.
The video's awesome too.
Yeah.
It's trippy.
Got that strobe
Yeah.
light, man. Freaking just fucking intense, man. Great.
I remember they opened for Rush on, but only on the Toronto dates, on the Presto tour, and they had Voivod open up for them. I wish they would have opened up for them down here. But I did get Mr. Big, which was good too, But I was hoping like Voivod would have been cool.
That would have been cool, yeah.
Another
band I've never seen live. I don't think I'll ever be able to see them live. I'll never come to
I've
Tennessee.
never actually seen them either, man. I never got a chance to see them. They're on my bucket list. I hope they come back around or something,
Yeah.
So they have a new album. They came out with a new album. So hopefully they'll, maybe they'll. I don't know if I'll still be up here or not. Hopefully they'll go to Florida. So
I gotta start getting into their stuff.
I think
Yeah, I want to hear some stuff now that y'all are talking about it. Your number 3, Mark.
I bet people thought this would be my number 1, like me and Al, but no. Rush Presto. I fucking love that album. I fucking listen to it a lot. I love Show Don't Tell. The Past is fucking the band's favorite song of all time. Fucking just great message in there without being too overly messagey. You just poke the bear just a tiny bit, talking about suicide, which is what fucking cool as fuck. And I loved it. That's my number 3.
Yeah, I think Neil said that was his favorite lyrics, I think.
Yeah.
One of them, at least.
Al, what's your number 3?
I think we had the same number 1, Mark, I think.
The Past?
No, the same number 1
the Past
album.
Yeah. Great
Same number 1
Yeah,
album.
the Past definitely spoke to me, like lyrically, and I was in a dark place in my life, and that song helped me out a lot. So.
Yeah, me too.
I think that's one of Getty's best vocal performances on it recorded to me.
Yeah. And they played it on a lot of tours after that tour, so that shows you how much they really like that song. My number 3 is going to be Tesla, The Great Radio Controversy. Fucking killer album, man. I mean, this is like Tesla at the top of their game. This one I thought like they couldn't top their debut, and they fucking killed it on this one. And and I mean, this is like 3 years after the debut, so they took a while to release this one. But when they did, man, it didn't disappoint. I love every song on here, man. I played the shit out of this cassette in my car, and I mean, it's almost an hour of the album, which was like almost back in those days. It was kind of unheard of, wasn't the norm thing to do yet, I guess CDs are starting to come in now, so. But I remember my cassette was like pretty long. I remember me and my brother, we used to play. I was driving around, my brother, and we. And like, damn, man, fucking Tesla puts a lot of songs in their album, but they're all great, when we were listening to this album. So
yeah, great.
Yeah,
record.
I gotta go with this one, man. Yeah. So number 3, Great Radio Controversy. I can go through the songs, but I know Mark has to send us, so I'll let him do the honor.
No, dude, go say some songs, man. We could agree on them.
All right, so I got a little story actually. In my senior year in high school, my friend and I, they had chocolate pudding wrestling in my school. So my friend and I, we did a tag team. It was me and my buddy against like two of my other buddies. They did this in my high school in the auditorium, and you can get to pick the song you can come out to. And I remember me and my friend Mike, we came out to "Hang Tough" by Tesla. Started off with that cool bass line,
Yeah.
and then like it just kicks in, and we came out, and we were like, we were really into wrestling at the time, and he painted like the left half of my face like a skull, and the right half of his face was painted skull. We had like mohawks. It was really, really cool. I remember it was videotaping. I wish I could track down a copy of that videotape. It'd be funny to watch. It's got to be in somebody's like house somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, I wish I could find it, but maybe someday it'll show up on YouTube, I'm sure. But yeah, "Hang Tough" was cool. We came out to that song, and then it will kick in the "Lady Luck." That's a fucking killer song. You know, "Yesterday's Gone."
Seamlessly.
The way it is, yeah, it's just seamless, man. Just straight down the line, man. So, yeah, man, that's my number 3. Great album. This is like where it really starts getting tough. I mean, there's like a lot of albums.
Do you remember when people
89.
got the album because of the lead off single, that when we put it in and heard "Hang Tough," it's like, oh man, they're copying "Sweet Emotion." the bass intro to "Hang Tough."
Or they were copying "Mountain Song" by Jane's Addiction.
Yeah,
because that was the almost same bass line, but just a little faster. You know, faster pace. But yeah, we listen to "Mountain Song" by Jane's Addiction and "Hang Tough." It's basically the same bass pattern, but just faster on "Hang Tough." That's you know. But yeah, I love the fact that you can hear the bass on Tesla albums too.
Yeah.
Like they're produced really well. I love the production on them. You know, because the heavy metal in the 80s, like hard rock metal, was very thin sounding albums. You didn't have a lot of bottom end on a lot of these albums, and Tesla had a great rhythm section. You know, Troy Luccketta and Brian Wheat. You know, you can hear them really well, and it was, you know, really, really good. I mean, musicianship is top notch. So yeah, Tesla 3.
My number 3 hasn't been spoken about yet, which I'm kind of surprised. But Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble with "In Step."
Yeah, great album, man.
Has my number 3. You know, they played this like crazy down here in my freshman year, so I love it. You know, the houses are rocking, and I think he became. You know, we all know that he had an addiction problem, but I think this was one of his first albums when he became clean.
He was sober, yeah.
Yeah, he was sober on this one, so you can really hear the big difference in his playing, his delivery, everything just had more of an assertive of himself when he was playing. But it's got that. It's got Tightrope. It's got Crossfire. Man, and this was full of hits that he had released. So Stevie Ray Vaughan is my number 3. It's got such great albums, really complete albums, and yeah, you know. I'm okay with the blues, but his blues was different. It was rockin' blues, man, and he made a whole new sound out of it. You know, so Stevie Ray Vaughan is my number 3. Jerry, what's your number 2, buddy?
My number 2 is, we did a review on this recently on the Freeform. It was a fun one. Metal Church, "Blessing in Disguise."
Great album too, man.
Love that freaking record. Love fucking every song off that album. "Spell Can't Be Broken," "Badlands," just full of great tunes. "Fake Healer," which is actually kind of Prophet. You know, it's kind of like a prediction, because the lyrics on that, Mike Howe died because he couldn't afford medication or the treatment he needed. And it was kind of ironic that he wrote a song about how the medical system screws you over because you can't afford it. So kind of, prophetic in a way. But yeah, I just loaded with great songs, man. I mean, very underrated band. They just released they released a new album. I think they had a new singer too. I don't know. I haven't listened to it yet, but yeah, I mean, this is one of the great underrated metal bands of that time. That's my number 2.
They're definitely underrated, man. They should be talked about more, you know. And I remember, I remember my friends were into them, and I never deep dove into Metal Church though, man. I like them, but I never really, and I need to do that, man, because they really are. They deserve it, man. They're a great band, with a lot of great solid albums, man. So
yeah, The Dark, Human
The Dark,
Factor, great freaking
Yeah.
records, dude.
yeah.
Mark, what's your number 2, buddy?
My number 2. Either one of these could have been one. Tom Petty, Full Moon Fever. I fucking saw that tour. Fucking just love this fucking album. My favorite song off there might be weird. Is like I like You're So Bad. I just like the lyrics.
It's catchy.
It's fucking. It's it's a cover though, right?
Is it?
Yeah, it's from the Byrds.
Is it really? That's a Bird
Yeah.
song?
Yeah, it's a
No.
Byrds song,
Oh, wow.
isn't
I
it?
didn't know that.
No,
Let's
there's
see.
a Birds cover on there, but it's not.
Oh yeah, that's his song, but I like it. It's with my
Yeah.
sister got lucky, married a yuppie,
Married a
took him
yuppie.
for all he is worth. Now she's a singer dating a swinger. I can't decide which is worse. I fucking love those lyrics, man. It's like
yeah.
so sarcastic.
Yeah, the Bird song is so you want to be a rock and roll star.
No, well, that's not on
You're on
that album. It's on the live album.
It's on a live album. No, but
Yeah.
there's a Bird song on here though. I thought.
I'm looking at her now.
Oh yeah, feel a whole lot better.
Yeah, that's what I said. It was Feel a Whole Lot Better. Yeah, So You Want to Be a Rock and Roll Star came off of Pack Up the Plantation live. Yeah, that's a great live album, by the way.
Yeah.
The best version of Rebels. The one on the studio album is fucking boring as fuck. That version of Rebels on that made me want Southern accents, and I went back and I go, fuck, these songs suck on this album. I'm going to listen to them on the live album.
Yeah, Southern accents is kind of a hit or miss. They could have been done a lot better. I really think it was the production work done by Dave Stewart.
Yeah,
Of,
they worked those
Eurythmics.
songs out live, though, because Rebels was more of a fierce fucking
Yeah.
protest song. I fucking loved it.
Right, the
on
way that it
live.
should have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was doing too much Bob Dylan on his "They Close on Rebel" on the fucking Southern accents fucking version. Come on.
The reason for that was because the Heartbreakers were his touring band at the time
hmm
with Dylan. So I think they took a lot of that back into the studio.
Yeah, they did the
hard not to.
Alone and Together tour,
Yeah,
where Tom Petty and Heartbreakers opened for Dylan, and then he was the backing band
yeah.
with Dylan. Yeah.
Which is hard to just stop playing that kind of music and just start over. So I think they brought a lot of that into the studio with them.
Oh yeah, I do like Southern accents. I do like the studio version
Yeah.
of "Don't Come Around Here No More." I like a lot of songs on there, but the best versions of those are on "Pack Up the Plantation" or any other live album.
Yeah, because I already like Rebels to begin with, but Type of Expectation, you're right. Number 2, Al.
2, I'm gonna go with Badlands, the debut album from
Nice.
Badlands. Fuck, dude. I mean, I'm a huge Jakey Lee fan, and when he had left Ozzy, I was like, damn, what is he gonna do? And I heard this, I think the first thing I saw was the Dreams in the Dark video, and I think that predated the album coming out on MTV, and I'm like, wow, man. I mean, this guy Ray Gillen, man, he's a fucking great vocalist, and Jake is just like tearing it up. And when I got the album, I put it on, and High Wire, man, just right out of the gate, man, just like, I was like, Jake is back, man. And as I
Didn't
went
Ray
through the
die
album,
pretty young?
Ray
Yeah,
Gillen
he died of AIDS.
Yeah,
He died of
I
AIDS?
think in like
He was
94
really
or
young then,
something.
wasn't he?
Yeah, he was only in his 30s, I think.
Yeah, he died, and you don't know about the lawsuit?
No.
What?
And he infected like some women or whatever, and but I'm friends with Greg Chason on Facebook, and he actually got mad at me one time on my page and talking about like the Eddie Trunk. There's a whole story about the albums being pulled by Atlantic, and that being the reason is he says it's really kind of not the reason that's because of that. There's a whole underlying story, and he's like, he didn't go into it, but he's like, dude, everybody thinks that this is like the reason of these albums not being in print. There's a whole underlying reason of why they're not, and that's just like kind of one of the reasons, but it's not the whole story. And he actually unfriended me for a while and stuff, but I didn't really say anything. I was allowing it to be said on my page.
He
And
unfriended me
then,
over baseball. He
What's that?
unfriended me over baseball.
Oh, really?
I remember you telling me that.
He was on our podcast, and I promote his
Oh.
band. It was Kings of Dust. Now it's Atomic Kings. I
Yeah.
still follow him, so
Yeah.
he's a
But
cool
then,
guy. We did
like-
an interview.
Yeah, but then like he came back on my page, he friended me back or whatever, so we're cool and everything. But he was just like, he's like, don't believe everything that you heard like on the Eddie Trunk interview and what Eddie Trunk says. It's not true. You know, the whole thing is. So I'm like, all right, you know, you were in the band, you were behind the scenes, you know better than I do. So, you know, I'm gonna tend to believe a band member more than, you know, media or whatever. So, but anyway. I mean, I love this album. It's one of my most played albums in 1989. There's only one that's my number one that was like, I had to take the number one spot above this one. But yeah, the whole album is great. I mean, they were really like channeling like some Zeppelin, some Free, you know, Humble Pie. You know, they were really like we're kind of throwing it back to like the 70s vibe on here, you know, and it was a breath of fresh air in the midst of like a lot of like glam metal stuff and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, Devil Stomp, man, that fucking song rules on here, man. That's such a great song, dude. You know, and Streets Cry Freedom and, you know, Hard Driver, Rumbling Train. I mean, it's gonna go through the whole thing. If you ever see it on vinyl, man, and it's not too expensive to pick it up because it's hard to find.
Yeah,
You know, even CDs, even CD and
yeah.
whatever.
I
don't
found
know.
them for like 25 each on CD, and I told Rock and Metal or my group they were on sale, and a lot of people went and sold them out. I didn't have money at the time, so I couldn't buy it. But I got it digitally. That's so.
I have the cassette, the original cassette, and actually Greg Cason, he autographed it for me. And then I have 2 copies on CD. I don't have the vinyl though. I'd like to find a vinyl copy of it. But, you know, this is one of those things that's not going to be reissued anytime soon. I don't know if it ever gets reissued. We'll see. You know, time will tell. But it's out there in the internet world if you still want to hear it, obviously. You know, so. But none of you guys have a physical copy of it?
No, I have digital tracks. I don't have
okay.
any by them. I have them all digital.
Yeah, I got the CD of it.
When I
I got the
freaking
CD for like $15, like 10 years ago on eBay.
I burnt them into my computer, and the CDs got stolen. So,
I have that. I have all 3 of the CDs, the Dead Voodoo Highway and Dust. You know.
yeah,
So,
those were great.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, they're going for like
Yeah,
30,
they're really
35
hard.
bucks a CD on eBay right now.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah, there's pirated versions that, you know, people have pirated it, and
I don't
You
want
know,
that.
there's official CD pressings of it, you know. So, yeah, I mean, it's because Atlantic doesn't repress them. That's why, you know.
Ooh.
But if
You know they're not
if I-
available on any streaming service either, right?
Yeah,
They don't
yeah.
even release it to them.
Oh, well, they're
But if I ever find any more out in the wild, like for cheap, I'll definitely pick them up and, you know, send you guys it or whatever if you guys need it. So,
Yeah, vinyl's going for like $300.
Fuck that.
oh, the vinyl's ridiculous. You know,
Hey, but if you get a CD, it's got to have that chrome with the red writing all over it, because that's what it
Yeah.
looked like.
Yeah.
If it doesn't
All
have
right,
that,
man.
it's probably bad.
yeah. Andy, go ahead, brother.
I was looking for that Badlands. I can't find it. Okay, my number 2. If you guys out there are tired of listening to Blood Sugar Sex Magic because you're a little burnt out of it, here's what you do: throw on some Mother's Milk.
Mhm.
That's a great album,
Red Hot
man.
Chili Peppers from '89. It's the beginning. It's what we know who the Chili Peppers are now, with great guitar playing, and a lot of intricate music, just like Blood Sugar Sex Magic. You never know which way it's going to go, but sometimes we just hear that album too much. And if you want to change it around a little bit, Mother's Milk is the way to go. That's my number 2.
They've been at all the Lakers games at home.
That was the first one with Frusciante and Chad Smith too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Chad and Chad Smith.
What do they call that? The prime time of the band? They call it the recognizable something members, like the standard of the band. That's when they had their great lineup. I forgot the name.
Classic.
Classic lineup. Yeah, they call it a classic lineup.
Yeah.
So that's their classic lineup right there.
Yeah, that's what started it all for them.
Yeah.
Of course, there were 2 more albums in front of that. I just found their debut album like a month ago for $1. I still haven't played it. Like I was telling Mark the other day, I got all this music that I've
Very different, man.
purchased. I just don't have time to hear it, but I have to. I gotta start. But yeah, that's my number 2 is Mother's Milk by Red Hot Chili Peppers. Great band.
Well, doing a
Jerry.
podcast gets me to listen to different music. I didn't know who the fuck Metal Church was till Jerry picked it. And I
Yeah,
love that band now.
yeah, you see, but then I got so much to listen to. All right, guys, number 1 album of 1989. Go, Jerry.
Yeah.
Hands down, the best record in my opinion, man. I mean, I had just got this on vinyl like a week ago. I won it on one of those raffles or waffles, I should say. I don't want to use
Yeah.
the W word.
Waffles.
Paid $10 for the raffle and I won it off that one that Kate's in. I can't remember the name of it right
Oh,
now.
nice.
But
That's
that was
awesome.
kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, what a freaking great record this is, dude. Full of freaking just killer tunes, man. I think they did the Unplugged after this, right?
Yeah.
Or around that time.
Five band
Yeah,
acoustical
just a great
jam.
era for the band, in my opinion.
Because the next album after that was Psychotic Supper.
And like what Al said, man, how can you top Mechanical Resonance, man? They almost did, but still, I think they're about the same, actually. I wouldn't put one above the other. I mean, they're both great. I mean, fucking Skio and Frank Hannon's guitars, fucking were just amazing in the band.
Oh,
I don't know what Tommy's been up to lately. I know he had some.
He's doing that band, dude.
Does he?
Was it Resistant Bite or something?
Yeah, Resistant Bite. I got the T-shirt and the fucking CD from them.
But yeah, I mean, this was actually the only this is a no doubter in my opinion for the best record of that era.
Hey, Jerry, so how do those waffles work?
They offer they got 20 spots. It's like $5 a spot.
Okay.
They give you a certain amount of time, and if they don't fill out in a certain amount of time, they'll just cancel it. You don't have to pay until it's completely sold out.
All right.
But yeah.
So I guess she's got 2 of them. It was either International House of Vinyl or Vinyl Street.
I think it's Vinyl Street's one.
Vinyl
The guy's name is Benny Carmioto, I think his name is. I don't know.
So
You know
after
that.
you won, did you pay them automatically, or how did all that work?
You don't pay until, like I said, all the spots are full.
Right. Okay.
So all the spots don't fill up. They just cancel it and they do something else,
Okay.
But yeah, I've won a couple of them actually. I mean, I've lost more than I won, but I've actually probably profited because some of these albums. I mean, this is a pretty expensive album. I mean,
Oh yeah, dude, it is. Yeah.
I got that, and I got I won a Pink Floyd one for my daughter. I think I won that off Kate actually. Dark Side of the Moon, I think.
Dark Side of the Moon you won from her, yeah.
What else did I win? I won. I think I won Madonna's first album. I think too.
Oh,
I paid
that's
like
a good one. Love
$2
that one.
$3 spots. I got $6
wow.
for it, brand new. So
Yeah.
you take a chance. I mean, it's like a lottery,
Yeah. Those first few albums by Madonna were fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Good
First
stuff.
3.
I like her
But
fourth
yeah,
one.
I mean,
I didn't have on here, and I'm surprised I didn't put like a prayer on.
Are
here.
we doing honorable mentions or no?
No. Well, after we're done.
Okay, gotcha.
What's your number 1?
Jerry's number 1. And Al, what was yours?
2, I think. Wasn't it?
2.
3?
Mine was 3.
3. Yeah, fucking Tesla Great Radio Controversy. I remember waiting for that album. Me and my friend Ed and I were going, dude, the new Tesla's coming out. We're going, yeah. And I was the first one to get the cassette. We're in his car just jamming it. It's like over an hour, but the song segue fucking seamless transitions into the songs. It's like listening to Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon, but hard rock, metal. Fucking great album. Paradise, dude, is a fucking
Oh man, great.
Paradise. Fucking
the unplugged version
slow.
of that. It's freaking, or the 5-man acoustic.
Oh, I love the solos in Paradise, the electric solos. Fuck, the acoustic one's good, but not as good as the plugged in one. Fuck no, I love that album. That's my number one.
Yeah, unfortunately, they get lumped around with the hair bands. Unfortunately,
Oh, yeah.
Very unfortunately. That's so wrong because these guys were so good.
Kind of like
Thanks.
bands are lumped in the grunge era. You know. the
Thanks,
same
Brittany Fox.
thing. Pretty Boy Floyd,
Yeah, thanks.
Trickster.
Al, what's your number one? In
Tesla,
1989.
Tesla was like 10 cuts above those fucking bands,
Yeah,
man.
big time.
My number one is I'm wearing the shirt right here.
King's X.
King's X. Gretchen Goes to Nebraska.
Gretchen Goes to Nebraska.
Dude, the second album. And to me, this is like just fucking prime King's X. I mean, they were just top of their game, man. And like, it's funny because it opens up with a song called Out of the Silent Planet, which is the name of their previous album, their debut album. But it's got like the Over My Head, which is great. It was that got played quite a bit on MTV. Over My Head video, great song. Summerland is a beautiful song, great song. Mission is a great song. I love this album, man. I love this band. I've always have ever since seeing them first on MTV with their first album, the King video, and I just never looked back, man. I just got every album as they came out, and you know, they're another power trio. I know there's something about power trios I love. You know, I love power trios. So, and one of my wish lists. I mean, I wish this would have happened, and I remember they were both on Atlantic Records, Rush and King's X, and I wish King's X would have toured with Rush. It would have been perfect, like compliments for each other, in my opinion. Would have been like you know, on the Counterparts tour, and King's X had Dogman out. That would have been the perfect opener for them on that tour, you know. But anyway, like, but going back, this is my number one album of '89. I love this album so much. So this is just one of those albums that, like, I mean, if you don't have it, and if you don't have it, man, give it a chance, man. Give King's X a chance. They're so great, you know. So I've turned a lot of people on to them, actually, man. I remember being a couple of jobs back. It was like somebody that worked in the office. I'm like, yeah, check this band out. Let them borrow the Best of King's X CD, and they came back. They were like, wow, I was blown away, you know. And it's just a matter of people hearing them. But I think they're another band that just people don't know. I think the thing that hindered them was people didn't know where to put them, like what box to put them in a category. You know, because they could be soulful, they could be metal, they could be progressive, they could be a lot of like different things, you know. And I think people just didn't know what to think of them, you know. They came out in the middle of like the glam era, and they had a bit of a different, you know. Their lyrics weren't fluffy. It was like they were thoughtful, that had meaning to them, and the musicianship was top notch. And you know, Doug Pinnick, man, you know.
Yeah.
People, believe it or not, people weren't used to like things like that back then, you know. And they got pigeonholed as a Christian band, you know, and they really kind of weren't, you know. But that doesn't matter to me, man. As long as it's good, it's good, you know. So
Yeah, they actually opened for
That's-
Stryper on the In God We Trust tour. Funny you mentioned that. Yeah.
Yes, I love Stryper.
Yeah. And I'm
It's
one
funny,
of those
man.
that I'm starting
They
to
would-
listen to them more and more.
it's funny. They got sold in like Christian stores, you know, their music, and then, you know, when Doug came out as a gay man, they got pulled. You know, it's like they couldn't deal with that or something, you know. So,
Oh,
but
I love
you know,
Doug,
then
man.
I love Doug. I've met him a couple times. He's a sweet guy.
I've seen the
man.
pictures.
They're all great guys. You see the pictures, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my number one, man. Go ahead, Andy.
I like the album cover for their first album. It's got the outline of Texas, and it's got it's got the Houston skyline across the state. It's a pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, if you like him, check out KXM. They have 3 albums out, coming out with a 4th one.
Do they have another one
rules.
coming out?
Yeah, I heard there's a 4th one coming.
Oh, awesome, man.
I got the first 3, and they're all 3 awesome.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I want to apologize for my number 1 because I lied. It's Tom Petty. Full Moon Fever.
Restored faith in humanity.
Tom Petty.
You picked it.
Not be on his list, man.
I know.
Love
He
this
always
album.
loves Tom Petty, man.
From beginning to end, this is a perfect album, but it's not my favorite Tom Petty. That goes to Damn the Torpedoes. But this is very close for me. Also Wildflowers and on and on and on and on.
Yeah, it's very hard to pick a good album.
Do the Heartbreakers actually play on that album though, and they're not just not credit?
Oh, they're all on there. They're all on there except Stan Lynch. I think it's Steve Ferroni.
Yeah.
Okay.
Came on there, and that's what started the fight, because he said, "You brought everybody else on your solo album, but me. What gives?" And that's how he left the Heartbreakers.
Well, he was messing around with Don Henley around that time. Dude.
Yeah, that album pissed him off though, because he wouldn't let him play on it.
And that's why I just called Tom Petty, but really it's the Heartbreakers with him.
Yep, he went on tour with the Heartbreakers on that tour.
Yeah,
Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Yeah.
But that is my number 1, Tom Petty, and the Heartbreakers. Everything on here is so damn good. My favorite my favorite track on here is "Face in the Crowd." I love that song.
Oh, that's a good one.
That and the Apartment song, which was done earlier or differently along with Stevie Nicks with him, but
I have that on the box set.
yeah, that's where it's from, like the playback or something like that.
Yeah, I have all 4 of those CDs. I don't have the box set anymore because a cat pissed on it. I have the CDs in different covers, but I still got the book and the CDs in different covers. So
you got a critic in the house, man.
Yeah. But my number 1 is Tom Petty. Full Moon Fever is my number 1. All right, guys, just a couple minutes on y'all's honorable mentions. What y'all got?
I got Testaments, Practice What You Preach. That was actually my number 11. Wasp, The Headless Children.
Oh yeah.
Stones, Steel Wheels. LA Guns, Cocked and Loaded. Black Sabbath, Headless Cross. Sepultura, Beneath the Remains. And Exodus, Fabulous Disaster.
Man, that was more than 5.
Yeah, but who's counting?
Okay, then cool. Then I got 6. Well, I got 7
LA
now.
Guns, Cocked and Loaded.
Yeah. Well, yeah, LA Guns Cocked and Loaded is on there. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Mother's Milk. White Snake, Slip of the Tongue. Paul McCartney, Flowers in the Dirt. Alice Cooper, Trash. Billy Joel, Stormfront, and Prince's Batman soundtrack album.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Ow.
I got Ace Frehley, Trouble Walking.
Oh,
The Smithereens, number 11. 9 Inch Nails, Pretty Hate Machine. Gary Moore, After the War. And Special Ed, Youngest in Charge on the hip hop front. I love that Special Ed album, man. I played that guy. He was only 17 years old, but his rhyme flow and his actual lyrics were fucking awesome. I was like, this kid is so young and is like just, if you're into old school hip hop, find that album, Special Ed, Youngest in Charge, and play it that, and you'll be blown away, dude. I'm telling you, man, it's a great album. And one more, Soundgarden, Louder Than Love, which I think is a great album.
Yeah, that Special Ed, he came out of the East Coast. He was all over Empty Raps at that time.
Yeah.
That dude was smooth, so damn smooth.
Oh, dude, man, that fucking dude was killer, man. And I just that was like that one album, and then I know he had albums after that, but it was like I don't know, he just kind of never topped that first one, man. You know.
Oh well, the West Coast took over at that time. You know,
that's true.
And
hey, was it Scribble who called us buttholes? Somebody said, "What's up, buttholes?"
I'm pretty sure I don't know anyone else that would tell us that.
Probably Scribble.
My go with my honorable mention, Steel Wheels.
Nice.
By the Rolling Stones. Also, The Blueprint of Hip Hop by Boogie Down Productions, which is also done by KRS-One. Fantastic stuff. Y'all talked about this earlier. Sonic Temple by The Cult. Also, Mr. Big Face himself, But seriously,
Great album.
by Phil Collins, really good
It's
stuff.
Mr. Big
This is a
Bass.
great album.
I wish it would rain. Wish it would rain down is my favorite on there.
Yeah.
With Eric Clapton playing the
my
guitar, fucking great
I
song.
love
And
it.
Do You Remember? Love Do You Remember?
Oh, that's a good one too.
Such a good song.
No Stone Cold Rhymin' by Young MC.
Ooh.
No, I don't have Young MC on my
Yeah, Bustin' Moves.
How about As Nasty as They Want to Be by Two Live Crew?
I've got that on my list as it wasn't going to make my honorable mention, but it is pretty important when it comes to the freedom of speech.
It is.
Because there was a
Yeah.
lot of stuff going on, even though it went a little bit over too much for me at that age. I was only 14. Going, oh my God, I can't believe they're talking about this. But also, Guitar Shop by Jeff Beck was also released on there. Slip of the Tongue.
Yeah.
I'm going a little bit more, but Twice Shy by Great White. That was a really good
Oh,
album.
I forgot that
That's
one.
right.
That one should have been on there.
Was also on there. And,
That was on my long list.
and this might be a little bit too on my pop side, but I love Gloria Estefan. Cuts Both Ways was also released in '89. So that's my honorable mentions.
Nice.
Third Base, the Cactus album.
Third Base.
Yeah. I saw that was released in '89.
You guys should just go listen to "Color Me Bad."
Oh, no way, man.
Why would you do that?
I really like the hip hop that we talked about today because that was some really good hip hop at that time. Really good stuff. But thanks a lot, everybody, for watching. Tomorrow, watch us all again on the BS sessions with Mark and Jerry and Charles Trainer. Charles will be with us tomorrow. Tomorrow, we are going to be doing a vinyl battle over there on the BS sessions. We're talking about unplugged albums. It's going to be Nirvana's Live in New York versus Alice in Chains Unplugged.
Great, man.
Track
Great
by track.
Hey, Al, you got this
Very
wire right behind you. Every time I look at it, it looks like a hair. I keep trying to scratch it off my screen.
Oh,
You guys see that?
yeah, I do. It's
I
that.
keep trying to scratch it. It looks like a hair.
It's an antenna.
Aren't you easily amused? No, I'm
I
joking.
think it fell.
It's like 3 times I tried to scratch it off the freaking screen. But no, go ahead. Sorry, Andy.
No, that's right. So tomorrow, watch us for that. We're doing track by really 2 classic unplugged albums that are so popular and so good, and they're fantastic albums. So please join us for that. It's going to be a good time. And anything else y'all want to plug in, Jerry?
Just tune into that, like and subscribe. You know, we got a pretty good following going on now.
Yeah, I see that.
You know, I'll let Mark talk about our other show.
Mark, what's going on?
Freeform Rock Podcast. This week we have Night Demon coming out, one of Jerry's picks. I forgot the name of the album. What is it?
Which one did we do?
We did I put it up on Facebook. It's up there in Freeform Rock. I shared it in a bunch of groups. We did Night Demon. It's just me and Jerry on that episode, so it's going to be a fun one. And also check out the Freeform Rock Show, internet radio on that.
Darkness Remains.
Yeah, thatmetalstation.com. I'm on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Good one. Al, what's going on with you?
Not much, really. I just hit 2,000 subscribers on my channel, which is cool. It was a good, thank you guys for, you guys always share my stuff too, which is great. I appreciate you guys. And, yeah, it's cool, man. It's, I uploaded the Billy Joel show from last night. It got partially blocked. I think it can only be seen in Europe. So I don't know. So there must be some sort of
well, you
copyright
can say you're
thing that
not
they're
using
blocking
it to
it
make
here in
money.
America, but
Yeah.
What?
They unblocked a lot of my episodes.
No, I
and
did.
not
I
music
say
on
I'd
it.
make a disclaimer.
They took a lot of my strikes off because of it was fair use.
And speaking of hip hop, when I was looking for my Iceberg cassette, I found this one that I'm going to play here tonight, which is going to be Public Enemy. It Takes a Million to Hold Us Back. This is a great album. I haven't heard it in a long time, so I'm looking forward to that tonight.
How many
That was
cassettes do
87,
you own?
right, or 88?
How many cassettes?
I own one.
Quite a bit. Like here's U2's Wide Awake in America.
Oh,
I gotta
I
thank
remember
Andy.
that.
I gotta thank Andy for sending me the
Oh
Rush
shit!
8
There you go. I got a
Oh.
box of those too.
He
Actually,
sent me,
You could sell
he sent
those
me
to
the Rush
Keith
7
Ashford.
Amazing back.
Ashcroft.
And I think this is a live album. I don't remember, but do y'all remember Riot?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's one of Ralph's bands.
Yeah.
Riot. And I almost talked about this one because this was released in '89. Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman, and Howe.
Half of
Yeah.
it's good, half of it sucks.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's why it wasn't
the
on
half that's good is with Trevor Rabin on it. Thank you.
there. Oh my God! Did we just stop Trevor?
Miracle of Life, man. That's on Rules.
So yeah,
He's right. He's right.
I don't know, probably about 100 or so, around there.
Yeah.
But
I
I'm
always
just
was.
starting to rebuy cassettes again because I bought this really good dual cassette player like a year ago, and it's really great. It plays everything fantastically. So if I find a good
Here's a rare cassette. I think I posted this up.
Oh wow! Is that
it's
from your
the
score?
GNR.
From that one big score you got?
Yes.
That was a major
Dude.
freaking score, dude.
I don't know, man. And I looked up on Discogs, man. This thing goes for like over $100. This cassette, because it's only there wasn't a lot of these pressed up. The
Which
Live
one
Like a
is it?
Suicide,
oh,
the
okay.
GNR Live Like a Suicide. I mean, you can get this part on GNR Live. That's when they release live as half of the album, but to get the actual original pressing of this, tough, man.
This is really
Yeah.
pure 80s.
Oh, I
Like,
love that. I got that on CD.
A show of
I remember
hands
when I got that on cassette.
My wife had
remember
it.
when I
I
got-
inherited.
I remember
Of
when
course.
I got that on cassette.
Of course, you gotta
I
have
bought
that
it
on
the-
cassette.
There you go. The
I
Show
got
of Hands,
this,
I remember,
but it has Sergeant
I wanna-
Pepper's inside.
what is that one?
That was Meet the Beatles, but it has Sergeant Pepper's inside.
Oh,
Gotcha.
Couldn't Stand the Weather by Stevie Ray Vaughan. And it's weird because I had one of those big wooden things hanging on the wall, but out of nowhere it just crumbled to the ground like a couple weeks ago. So that's why I have all these cassettes here near me because
Get those
everything's
plastic
so-
ones you can hang on the wall. Those things last. I used
Yeah.
to have a bunch of plastic ones with cassettes.
There's that.
Now, have they
Pride
improved the
My-
cassette
my-
player
by Weight
where they
Line.
don't get eaten up all the time now?
I don't know.
That was
Yeah.
my
Probably not.
biggest issue with tapes, man. I owned Pink Floyd The Wall like 20 times on cassette. I guess because it was longer for some reason. They got eaten up more. I don't know
Remember
why.
when this double live by Ozzy came out? That Live and Loud?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got those on cassettes.
Look at that, man.
Yeah,
right.
it really is. All right, guys. That's enough.
Cool.
All right.
That was show and tell time.
Andy,
Yeah, I know. And if y'all want to, on Friday, me and Real Toast, we're not going to record this, but we're going to get on the
Facebook?
StreamYard, but not post it, and just jam out to Sabbath Volume 4 that night, just to hang out and then listen to Volume 4 and chit chat about it. So we got that going on as well, but we're just not going to post it.
What time are you doing at the same time?
At 8 o'clock. Yeah.
I'm not too
Yeah,
sure what I'm
either-
doing yet, but maybe I'll hop in, check it
All right.
out.
Yeah. Either I'm going to play it or he's going to play it because we can't post it with the music on, but that doesn't mean we can't listen to the album together and chit chat about it. You know, it's just like a Friday night, friends hanging out, listening to music. So we're going to see how that goes.
cool, man.
I don't know if I want to trust my vinyl with it, not skip it. So I
Mhm.
might just do the CD version of that. But we'll
Mark
be
and
doing
Jerry, I'm
Sabbath
looking
Volume
forward to
4.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alice in Chains and Nirvana. Those are two great unplugs. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a tough
Yeah.
one, but
Just
But it's
remember,
really
we
cool,
have two
man,
and a
so
half.
thank you for-
We have two.
Yeah,
we have two-
I listened to one today and I was surprised. I like it better than I thought I would. I haven't heard it in a long time, so Anyway, no spoilers, I guess.
Well, I'm just saying, just remember it's a 2.5-hour show tomorrow because of Charles.
Yeah.
So. All right.
I
Thank
know,
you.
I know. I won't show any of my cassettes tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, guys. I will talk to y'all tomorrow. Y'all
All right.
take it easy.
Later.
Bye,
Later.
everyone.
Bye.
Take it easy.
Have a good